Prowlers looking for a sweep of the Blue Ridge Bobcats in their final game at Hitachi Energy Arena this regular season. Will Wiggleman here with you in Wytheville, Virginia. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Well, Prowlers looking for the weekend sweep of the Blue Ridge Bobcats. It will be their first weekend sweep in nearly a month and third of the regular season. They could do it here in a building that they will be playing in for the final time of this regular season. Prowlers 2-1 at Hitachi Energy Arena. Can they make it 3-1 tonight? Tonight the Bobcats will be playing as the Virginia Lancers, honoring a team from all the way back in the 1980s that was coached by John Tortorella, current NHL head coach, and won an Atlantic Coast Hockey League championship. With that, the Prowlers will be bringing out their alternate red uniforms. For those of you who like uniform matchups, you'll see a great one here tonight. We'll have much more coming up for you on the pregame show next. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers Hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers Hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Welcome back here to Hitachi Energy Arena. Prowlers and Bobcats getting set to go for this Saturday night matchup. Will Wiggleman again back with you here in Wytheville on the PHP Network. Thanks for spending your Saturday evening here with us. But before we get to tonight's game, let's take a look back at last night's game. A 4-1 win for the Port Huron Prowlers. And it all got started with Brett Morick's first pro goal. But from there, offensively, it was the Blake Anderson show, as he scored not one, not two, but 3 times. And Anderson, see, there's his first goal. And a great look at his second one as well. A natural hat trick here for Blake Anderson. And there was goal number 3. And the ensuing melee as well. The Prowlers won it. Prowlers won it 4-1. The final score last night, taking down the Bobcats. As again, Blake Anderson with his hat trick, his first pro hat trick. Brett Morick, his first pro goal. And Reed Cooper made 34 saves on 35 shots. Prowlers moved to 3-0 this season when being outshot, which is an interesting stat. Not sure if it's an extremely sustainable thing, but interesting nonetheless. Meanwhile, the Bobcats have scored just 1 goal in each of their last 2 games, both of those losses. And interestingly for the Bobcats, they've scored 3 or fewer goals in every one of their 6 losses this season, and 4 or more in all 5 of their wins. It's a team that cannot seem to figure out how to win those low-scoring games. And the Prowlers, a team that's built to win the low-scoring games, and they were able to do that last night. We take a look at what that means for the standings in the FPHL. Black Bears also won last night, so Prowlers deficit still 5 points behind Binghamton for the top spot in the standings in the Empire Division. Scarecrows, meanwhile, got a win last night over the Baton Rouge Zydeco. They jump up 2 spots to 3rd place in the division, while the Hat-Tricks and Bobcats tumbling after their losses. And look who's right there in the midst of that group now, the Watertown Wolves. 15 points now for Watertown, firmly in the middle of that group. Just 2 points back of the Scarecrows, who sit up in third. There'll be a lot to figure out between those four teams as we continue on over the next month or so. Should be very interesting to see where things are a month from now. Let's take a look at the players to watch here for tonight's game. And we start on the Bobcats side. It's going to be Justin Daly. Daly with 6 goals this season. He is the most goals by a player in the FPHL without any assists. Indeed, in fact, the only FPHL player with 3+ goals and no helpers. 3 of his 6 goals have come on the man advantage, and that leads a Bobcats team that has the best power play in the FPHL, working at 25.5%. On the other side for the Prowlers, to give you a little bit more context on Blake Anderson's hat trick from last night. His first career hat trick comes into tonight with 25 career goals in 62 career games. Had 3 2-goal games with the Monroe Moccasins last season as a rookie. Couldn't get that third one last night. Finally able to pick up hat trick number 1 in his FPHL career. Now, right now, I have projected the Prowlers lines to be exactly the same as last night. That might not necessarily be the case, as in last night's game, in case you missed it, Matt Graham took a shot off his ankle back in the first period, and he did not return to the game last night. See if we can get a look at that shot. But again, he blocked a shot off of his ankle during last night's game. He did not return to the game. Graham did take warm-ups tonight, but the Prowlers did take warm-ups with an extra player. So Graham going down as a game-time decision, and I've just been handed the roster sheet for tonight. Matt Graham is in. Matt Gellerman is out. Luke James is back in for the Prowlers. So that is the change tonight. Again, that was a game-time decision type of thing made after warm-ups, and I just got this piece of paper handed to me moments ago. So again, Luke James in the lineup for the Prowlers. Matt Graham also in the lineup. Matt Gellerman is out tonight. That is your only change. James in for Gellerman. We'll see if Graham can, he will be trying it out. We'll see if he can go for this whole game. You see the Prowlers wearing those alternate reds tonight. If you missed the pregame open, Prowlers wearing red with the Bobcats wearing white jerseys that are throwback uniforms for the Virginia Lancers, who played in the Atlantic Coast Hockey League back in the 1980s, won a championship in 1987, being coached by John Tortorella, who might be a familiar name to those of you who pay attention to the NHL. The Road Red Alternates for the Prowlers tonight, trying to keep up their perfect Saturday streak, their perfect record on the back half of back-to-back games this season. We'll see if they can keep that up. And again, should be a great matchup here tonight. Reed Cooper will be back between the pipes again for the Port Huron Prowlers. After a fantastic performance last night in which he stopped 34 of 35 shots. One of his best performances of the season. As they're announcing the Bobcats starters / Lancers. Because again, they are wearing those specialty jerseys tonight. We'll try and get you a good look at those specialty jerseys at some point throughout tonight's broadcast for both the Bobcats and the Prowlers red alternate jerseys, in case you haven't seen those up close and personal. Second year the Prowlers have had those red alternate jerseys. But if you are a fan of that sort of thing, the aesthetics of hockey, tonight's a great game to be watching. An awesome jersey matchup here tonight. And it looks like the Bobcats will be switching up the netminder tonight. Anthony Schrum coming out as the starting goaltender. That is a change from last night, but again, Prowlers back with Reed Cooper here tonight. He's looked like the best goaltender in the FPHL this season. He'll try to continue that and get the Prowlers their first weekend sweep of this month. They haven't swept anybody since they swept the Topeka Scarecrows at home about a month ago. Yeah, they've been on this little bit of a streak the past few weeks of losing the Friday game and then winning the Saturday game. Last night they won the Friday game, so no excuses tonight. Get themselves a weekend sweep and head home with 6 points for to start a very tough stretch. A 4 games in 5 night stretch for the Prowlers coming up this week. And you see the Prowlers lined up there on the blue line. Let's take you down to ice level for the rest of tonight's pregame ceremonies, including tonight's national anthem.
Their starting lineup, in goal, number 33, Reed Cooper. On defense, number 2, Nicholas Favaro. On defense, number 25, Alex Johnson. At forward, number 22, Luke James. At forward, assistant captain, number 46, Jamie Bussell. And at forward, number 91, Connor Bizal. The Prowlers are coached by player head coach Matt Graham, assistant coach Alex Johnson, associate head coach Chris Pollen, trainer Bridget Smith, and equipment manager Ken Falke. Fans, we ask that you remain standing as you are able and remove your hats. Veterans render a hand salute for the performance of the Star Spangled Banner performed tonight by Jacob Reynolds.
That is tonight's national anthem from Hitachi Energy Arena. Prowlers and Bobcats getting set to go. Let's take a look at the Prowlers starting lineup here tonight. Just in case you missed it when they announced it in the arena. Connor Bazell, Jamie Bussell, and Luke James starting up front. Then James back in after being scratched last night. Top D pairing will start for the Prowlers, and Reed Cooper in between the pipes once again here tonight. That brings us to our Harrison Metal Fab starting goaltenders. Cooper, 8-2-0 this year. 2-1-0 goals against average and a .936 save percentage. Near the tops of the league in all those categories, including number 1 in wins this season. He has won 6 of his last 7 starts. Anthony Schrum beat the Prowlers 2 weeks ago in this building, a 3.31 goals against average and a .919 save percentage for Schrum. We're just about set to go from Hitachi Energy Arena, Prowlers and Bobcats. Bobcats, of course, wearing those Virginia Lancers sweaters here tonight. We are underway for this Saturday matchup. Right off the jump, Alex Johnson rims it around the boards, gotten out by James, and he tosses it in off the back wall. Still a little bit foggy from the pregame pyrotechnics that the Bobcats had here at Hitachi Energy Arena. Bucell tips the puck in. Hakola after it on the forecheck. And pumps back to neutral ice. Matt Graham after this puck. Left in the first period last night, did not return. It was a game time decision tonight. And as you can see, he's in. Hakola fires it around. Lockney gets there ahead of Klinecki. Caught up in Bacon's equipment. Graham digs it loose. Graham backhand pass, looking for Hakola, then Lockney fanned on a shot. Hakola hard on the forecheck, grabbing it away from Bacon. Those two come together. Bobcats still can't get it out. Now finally they do. Actually it hit Graham and goes right into the Bobcats bench. So good hard work in the offensive zone by that line. Faceoff will come outside of the Bobcats end. The line of Blake Anderson, Bobby Price, and Vinny DeCumbis out there right now. Asked Blake Anderson last night after the game about playing with these guys. He talked about the speed that they all can play at. There's Ben Brockway stepping up and running down Andrioli. Blake Anderson, of course, a speedy player himself. And these three can certainly give teams fits moving through the neutral zone in transition. Daly trying to bounce it up the boards out of the zone. Bazal took a bump there from Erickson, who still wants more of Connor Bazal after the puck has left that area. Right wing side, it's Reller. Dropping the shoulder on the backhand center right through the goal mouth. Navarro play it to an area. Bazal gets it out. Fans reacting to some checks by the Bobcats as Bucell tries to get down deep in the offensive end. Out high, Johnson, D-to-D pass. Favaro just did keep it in. James around behind the net, tried to wrap it, and Schrum got to the post. Bucell floats it towards the cage. Knocked down, and Lavak got it up to Feruseth. Bobcats looking for an exit. Romano up to Mercurio flying in. Speedy Mercurio all the way around the Prowler net. Was dislodged from the puck by Organ, and Lockney clears the zone. Mercurio flew back out for that puck. He'll pitchfork it right back in. Feruseth off the boards and around. Austin Federley, third game in a row for him playing defense. Stolen away, Demetrio tried to center. And ends up in Cooper's glove. He'll hang on for a whistle and a face-off. It's over 3 minutes gone so far in this one. Neither team credited with a shot on goal quite yet. See Reed Cooper able to scoop that one up with the glove as it popped out in front. Bacon got down low, falling and shooting from a sharp angle was Stuckless. Kazirev spun it all the way around for Stuckless behind the net. Martin taken in. Now Stuckless spinning it out in front, comes all the way up top. Klinecki couldn't get it as it slipped under his stick. Schrum comes all the way out to make sure. Anderson does have a breakaway, but Price couldn't keep that puck in. If he did keep the puck in, he would have had a clear open cage to shoot at with Schrum all the way out. Andrioli, right wing side, shot stopped by Cooper, rebound rescued by Anderson. Anderson spun down, Parsons off to Johnson, takes a look ahead. Has help off the bench, got it to Bucell, with Bazol going to the net, and Bucell shot kicked out by Schrum. Erickson, high flip out, glove down Bucell, works right back in, steps around Erickson, sent it towards the middle. Bobcats try and bank it out, and they do. Here comes Reller, working on Favaro, his shot gloved and held by Cooper. And now James and Daly getting into it. They'll be separated, and we'll get back to some hockey here in a moment with a defensive zone face-off for the Prowlers. Reed Cooper has already had to make 3 saves. That's 3-2 Bobcats early on in this one. Nick DeVito taking the face-off against Vinny DeCumbis. Comes to the wall. Federle ahead of Mercurio. Able to sidestep the check. This one rolls all the way down, and the Prowlers ice it. So they'll bring the puck all the way back to where it came from. Four and a half gone in period one, still scoreless between the Prowlers and the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Face off down in Reed Cooper's end. Off the draw. Here comes Federle. Up towards Anderson. Passes in his skates, delayed off sides here against the Prowlers. I don't think Vinny DeCumbis knows it. Doesn't matter though as the Bobcats escape. DeVito tried to dance around Organ. Centering pass comes all the way through. Anderson grabs it. Has DeCumbis with his head down, racing up ice. Pass behind him though. Bobcats try for a quick counter. Romano surrounded. Finds some space. Sent it down low, tipped wide. Parsons for Lockney. Touched ahead to Matt Graham. Waiting for help, and Graham spins it deep. Graham back on it. Hakala. Centering feed just got past Lockney. It hopped on Lucas Lockney there at the last moment. That was a great opportunity. Well-worked play by the Prowlers, but back comes Kazirev. Parsons takes it neatly off of Kazirev's stick. Graham sent it to an area. Lockney skates to it. Working on Klinecki, outside try, gloved and held by Anthony Schrum. Scoreless in the early going here in Wytheville. Prowlers and Bobcats will continue when we come back on the PHP Network.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. LJ, come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Hello, I'm home. There he is. What is happening? Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch? Spicy. Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite. Can you stop? Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack wrap is back.
Back here in Wytheville, just over 5 minutes gone in period one, still searching for our first goal. Brett Morick getting set to draw against Brandon Reller. as soon as we're ready to get back going. Back to the point, Parsons, wrister, changed direction, and just missed wide. Not sure if Schrum got a piece of it or not. James comes back forward in the neutral zone. Delayed offsides here against the Prowlers as they didn't time it. Erickson steps up. Radchenko sent it in off of Brockway. Bucell and Daly get there together. Comes back towards those two. And now Bucell, outlet feed, looking for Price just out of his reach. And the Prowlers will have to deal with a defensive zone draw after that icing. As the Bobcats will get themselves some fresh bodies on the ice. It'll be Ferusith's line with Mercurio and PJ Demetrio. Again, one of the newest Bobcats, made his Bobcats debut last night. Tied up, puck still sitting in the hash marks. Turnaround try, and Cooper was ready for it as Ferusith just sent it on net. Bucell back for Parsons. Price is waiting at the far blue line. They try and get through to him, but Hlavak got in between. Ferusith had it go by him. Passes off to Anderson with some space. Anderson towards Tecumseh. And that didn't get all the way to him. May have been more of a dangle attempt from Blake Anderson than a pass, but either way, didn't work too well as the Prowlers wheel back up. Klinecki blocks the dump-in attempt. Bavaro resetting. Bavaro moves up, dumps it in, heads after it himself as Schrum is out to play it. Lockney cut off the pass on the half wall. Taken away by Klinecki. And he shoots, kick save, rebound, pushed wide. Up to the point again. Federley walks the line, floats it, and sets it wide. Oregon pinching in. Couldn't center. James. Pass up top. Federley down low, tip, just wide again. Luke James got his stick on it. Good shift here for the Prowlers. Radchenko looking to end it. It escapes the Bobcats' end. Port Huron looks primed to go right back in. Oregon with Morick. Sent it down that way. Reller bounced up the far side boards. Bobby Price pitchforks it deep. Radchenko swept it out to DeVito. 3-on-2 for the Bobcats if they hurry. Nice stick by Brockway to turn it the other direction. Price throws on the brakes. Sent one along the ice. That missed the net. Bobcats trying to exit. They do. 2-on-1. Reller with DeVito. Reller. DeVito! And he sent it over top of the cage. Skied it. It's been a few years since Nick DeVito has played pro hockey and just couldn't find the target that time. Tecumseh tried to go up to Lockney. He bangs it around. Heikkila able to muscle off a check. Now it's Demetrio working up. Amino got it in. Johnson. Reverse up the near side. Tecumseh comes back to get it. Kept in. Johnson had his pass cut off by Demetrio, and he fanned on the centering pass with Favaro all over him. Dangerous play there. Johnson, this time, able to find a teammate. It's Heikkila. All by himself with his team in the midst of a change. Schrum left to rebound. Heikkila right there, but he couldn't get the bouncing puck back on net. Mercurio in with speed. Drops it off to Kazirev. Center, Klinecki fired it wide. On the blocker side of Cooper. Now the Prowlers on the counter. James, return feed toward Bucell. Taken out of the play by Radchenko. Kazirev ducks past check of Morick. Klenecki, the defenseman, leading the rush, and he just fell. Nothing there from Austin Federley. Daniel Klenecki fell by his own volition. It's more of the equipment manager's fault than it is Austin Federley's. Klenecki back on his feet, back in his own end, and he passes it off for Radchenko. Lead pass taken away by the Prowlers. Anderson wheeling on the right wing side, rising shot knocked down and held by Schrum. And now Anderson and Erickson battling behind the net. Erickson trying to go after Blake Anderson. They'll get everybody separated here. High pace to this opening period. Players head back to their respective benches, but not after a little more tussling. We'll be right back here on the PHP Network.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go
Go
Prowlers!
Prowlers!
Back here in Virginia, Prowlers and Bobcats still searching for the game's first goal, but we do have the game's first penalties. Tonight's referees, Drew Wilkelis and Brian Pincus, the linesmen, Jeremy McWalter and Stephen Fitz. Both Blake Anderson and Robin Erickson getting 2 minutes for roughing, so we'll get some 4-on-4 time. Well, the Prowlers and Meyer are partnering for the Goals for Good program. Meyer donating money to help families in need. For every goal the Prowlers score this season so far, Prowlers and Meyer have helped deliver over 2,500 meals to families in need. Bucell to draw with Reller to begin the 4-on-4. Radchenko hanging out behind his net, waiting for the breakout to start. Reller up the left wing side, working on Federley. Reller throws on the brakes below the goal line. Bumps it around to Hlavak. Moves his way up high on his backhand, blanketed by Bucell. And it's taken away by Federley, who got his stick in the passing lane. Johnson hustling to join him. Federley, Johnson just batted it wide. And now here come the Bobcats with a 3-on-1, making a 3-on-2. Romano backpedals to Reller, and a great play by Lockney to take it away from Brandon Reller. Johnson will slow things down, up and down action in the 4-on-4. Prowlers had their best chance of the evening so far. Let's go Bobcats chants coming down from the crowd here at Hitachi Energy Arena. Lockney's pass taken away. Mercurio wheeling to the net, and it's swallowed up by Cooper. Easy save there for Reed Cooper. We take another look though, that opportunity earlier for poor Huron. Federley waited, got it over, and the pass was in the air. Johnson had to bat it, and he just couldn't bat it on net. Andrioli off the faceoff, he scores! Carson Andrioli just ripped it straight off the draw, and the Bobcats had the first one tonight. Just a quick shot immediately off the faceoff. Carson Andrioli, with his second of the year, ends a 7-game point drought. Blue Ridge, first lead of the weekend. All that comes off a face-off loss. You see Brett Morick there, who was frustrated with himself right after the goal was scored. He was the centerman for the Prowlers on that play. Bobcats working back in, looking for another, and a sliding play by Luke James disrupted a pass. Radchenko hands it off. Romano forced back. Kazirev right at the top, watched by Parsons. Radchenko trying to escape Brockway. Kazirev as the Bobcats cycle it around the Prowlers zone. Anderson and Erickson set to come out of the penalty boxes. Radchenko gets back to the puck, makes a move. Radchenko taken in by Brockway. Anderson steals it and gets it out of the zone. Martin looking for DeVito back in. Instead, the Prowlers work up. Price with Anderson. Price makes a move on his backhand, and that was blocked. Played over to the corner. Price and Kazirev tie up. Martin towards DeVito. Johnson takes over. Johnson wheeling up the right wing side. Dances past one, left the puck behind. Tecumseh has it. Saves from rebound. Pushed past the net by Johnson. DeVito is able to backhand it out. Anderson taken in. Lockney digging for that puck. He's got it free. Lockney across the Graham. Save Schrum. And he'll hang on. Anthony Schrum sliding over, able to make a big save on Matt Graham. Prowlers have gotten some good opportunities. Anthony Schrum with his best save of the night. Great pass by Lockney to Graham. It stays 1-0 Bobcats. Under 6 to go here in period 1. Off the faceoff, Heikkila tried to rip it, but couldn't control that puck. Puck seems to be bouncing a lot so far in the early going. Here's a chance for Federle and a kick save by Schrum. Now the other way, Demetrio's chance. Stopped by Cooper, a couple feet outside his goal crease to cut down the angle. A quick up. Oregon trying to cut down Demetrio, and look how aggressive Reed Cooper is there. All the way out to make sure Demetrio had nothing to shoot at. Off this face up, Johnson spinning away from Demetrio. Off the boards, glove down, but by Tecumseh, and Price the next one to touch it, and that will end a 2-on-1 rush for the Prowlers. And it's already becoming that kind of night for Port Huron. They're getting their opportunities, but something each time just seems to be going slightly wrong. Close but no cigar. We'll see if they can figure something out here. Face-off tied up at the dot. Brockway gets the red line, tosses it in. Punch back out. Brockway again. This time fires it around and gets it deep. Radchenko skating up. Gave it off to Martin. Backhanded deep. Comes around towards Bucell. Came through him. Prowlers wanted too many men on the ice call they won't get. Instead, it's Bucell catapulting the puck deep into Bobcat territory. Play to an area. Graham trying to swoop in for it. Spun down to the ice. Andrioli for Reller. Kazirev has a man going to the net, but offsides called at the Prowler line. Carson Andrioli, the only goal so far. It is 1-0 for the Blue Ridge Bobcats. And that's why the Prowlers wanted the too many men on the ice call. They don't get it. And we'll be right back on the PHP Network.
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring.
We're so screwed.
All right, boys. Here's the game plan. LJ, you start with bananas.
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is gonna melt. We gotta hurry up.
I won't do it.
Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue.
Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milk House gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milk House, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Back here in Virginia, 1-0 Bobcats with under 5 minutes to play in period number 1. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Final game here at Hitachi Energy Arena this season for the Prowlers. They will see the Bobcats again coming up later this season in Port Huron. That will be less than a month from now in December. And then that'll be it for these two teams. Brockway rims it all the way around. Andrioli and Graham stuck up on the half wall. Pulled out by Reller. Parsons able to chop it out. Andrioli couldn't get it deep. Graham plays it out to Hakala with Lockney. Hakala fires and it's blocked away by Schrum. Johnson watched by Andrioli, hands off to Parsons. Andrioli got a piece of Johnson after he moved that puck. Meanwhile, it's Price to DeCumbis. Sending it down deep. Andrioli still having a chat with Johnson while the Prowlers cycle in the offensive end. Anderson centering feed, and Andrioli the one to break it up away from Vinny DeCumbis. Bavaro keeps it in at the line. Gave it right back to Klinecki. The headman feed for Reller, knocked away. Now Johnson fires his way up. Johnson down Main Street. And he fanned on the shot. Schrum tried to get on top of it, couldn't. Johnson's on top of Schrum. Penalty coming up. Schrum gives a punch towards Johnson. And fans getting on their feet right now. There was a penalty called by the back referee in the neutral zone. I believe it's on Alex Johnson. Let's take another look. As Johnson wheeled right up the ice. Good stick there by the Bobcats defense. And Johnson landed on top of Schrum and everybody piled on. Good stick by Romano though to make sure Johnson didn't get a good shot away. Goalie interference being called against Alex Johnson. And it looks like that's the only call. So we will get the first power play of the night, and it will belong to the Blue Ridge Bobcats as see Johnson there tumbling over Schrum. The top power play in the FPHL gets a chance to work. 25.5% are the Bobcats this season on the man advantage. They went 1 for 6 last night. That's how they scored their only goal of last night's game. They score a lot of their goals on the man advantage. As Mercurio, center for DeVito, stickless Prowler, it's James. Klenecki, one-timer save, rebound! Cooper trying to get on top of it, and he does. Prowler's getting after Kazirev, who was whacking away at the puck. Everybody separated here, but see James without a stick. Can't get his stick in the shooting lane. Cooper did not cover that cleanly at first. Kazirev was going digging for a rebound. There certainly was a loose puck available, at least for a moment. Kazirev for Klenecki. Off to Mercurio. Pass down low, tipped, and just past the cage by Martin. Klenecki at the top, fakes the drive, over to Mercurio. Back to Klenecki, one-timer, he scores! Second power play goal of the weekend for Daniel Klenecki. All 3 of his this season have come on the man advantage. It's 2-0 Bobcats. Right along the ice through plenty of traffic. And the Bobcats 1 for 1 on the power play. That only took them 38 seconds. An early hole for Port Huron. Oregon gets it deep. And now Erickson going after Oregon. Oregon wants no part of it. Penalty coming up against Erickson. Erickson putting his palm to the sky as if it wasn't obvious why he's going to the sin bin. He shakes his head as he takes his seat. Prowlers power play gets its first opportunity tonight. You see Erickson there, got tangled up with Oregon, then he gave Oregon a whack after they got tangled up, and that was the reason for the call. Prowlers power play begins. It's Favaro back in his own end. The Prowlers try and work it up. Johnson sends it all the way across. Favaro gets it back deep for Graham. Anderson couldn't bring in the pass. Daly trying to cause some trouble shorthanded. Now Favaro spun down by Daly. He's in alone. Daly knocked down. Penalty coming up. Graham doesn't like the call, but the Bobcats will negate the rest of Erickson's power play just as soon as the Prowlers, or penalty, just as soon as the Prowlers touch the puck. 6-on-5 attack on the delayed call. Bobcats work up. Klenecki drops it back. Radchenko. Back for Mercurio. Chased by Hakala. Martin taken in. 3 Prowlers there, and finally they'll blow it dead, and we will get the call. We'll get some 4-on-4 time, and then a Bobcats power play. We'll see who's going to the penalty box. It's Matt Graham, the one who's being signaled. He doesn't like the call, but he'll have to sit for at least 2. Referees are having a discussion here, maybe a discussion about a possible penalty shot, as Daly was working in on a partial breakaway. We'll see what they figure out here. And potential for Blue Ridge to get a huge, huge opportunity. Take another look. Daly working in. Graham shoved him down. Gave him a whack, shoved him down, and that's when the arm went up in the air. Jamie Bucell and Daniel Klinecki over there, the alternate captains, getting the explanation from the referee here. So slashing the call against Matt Graham. As the conversation continues there, everybody else lining up for this draw. Face-off will be deep in Prowler territory. Some more 4-on-4 action for you. Be sure to stick around here for the first intermission report on the PHP Network. We'll take a look back at the Prowlers Coaches Show this week with Brian Parsons. Very interesting fan questions, including for Alex Johnson, who is also on the show, from his future mother-in-law. Also look at the FPHL storylines, out-of-town scores, and much more. Keep it locked in here on the PHP Network. Bobby Price blew a tire in the corner. Hit hard by Hlavik. Slovak and Price still tangled up as the 3-on-3 rush the other direction. Oregon tried to move the puck. It's taken away. Fans wanting a penalty here, not sure why. Maybe something behind the play. They won't get one as Hakala, and that will do it for the opening 20 minutes. Bobcats get 2 from their defensemen, and they will take a 2-0 lead into period number 2. Shots on goal in that opening frame favoring the Prowlers 15-12, but Anthony Schrum stopped them all. And Port Huron playing from behind for the first time this weekend. Once again, coming up on the first intermission report here on the PHP Network, we will take a look back at the Prowlers Coaches Show with Brian Parsons this past Wednesday. Bi-weekly coaches show for the Prowlers. And Parsons and Alex Johnson answered questions from the audience, including their teammates and Alex Johnson's future mother-in-law. Plus, Parsons tells one of his favorite Port Huron stories. It's all coming up on the first intermission report right here on the PHP Network. Of course, we'll also have our usuals, FPHL storylines, and the out-of-town scores as well. So, again, keep it locked in here on the PHP Network. So much for us to do before we get the puck dropped on period number 2. Well, have you checked out the Prowlers team store yet? The brand new team store is located on the southwest corner of McMorran Arena, and it is open all weekend long this weekend. In case you missed out today, it will be open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow, Sunday, November the 23rd. So be sure to get out there, get some new Prowler gear ahead of the Prowlers' next home game. Check out the brand new Prowlers team store, one of the many upgrades being made to McMorran Place this season. We'll be right back here on the PHP Network. A little bumper cars race going on the ice. Prowlers trailing by a pair here in Wytheville.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan.
Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry Howie's.
Congratulations on your engagement again, man. You know, you should get some life insurance.
I never really thought about that. How would I do that?
We can help you with that at Zach Egan State Farm. Congratulations on getting married, man. Have you gotten a house?
We just got one, actually, yeah.
Well, if you want, we can help you out with life insurance at Zach Egan State Farm to cover your mortgage. Is Olin a year old now?
He is.
Wow. Have you guys got life insurance set up on him yet?
I haven't even thought about it yet.
Oh.
How would I go about that?
Well, we can help you with that at Zach Egan State Farm. High five?
Yeah, hon, we should have gotten life insurance years ago.
Hey, Ken. We've actually got a policy for people your age at Zach Egan State Farm. Give us a call.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Explore the 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron. That is Michigan's Thumb Coast. Discover charming coastal towns, serene beaches, and endless outdoor adventures. Stay at cozy hotels, paddle through pristine blue waters, and hit the fairways along breathtaking views. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
One favorite Port Huron stories. Let's check it out.
Oh, Birdman wants to know how long these two are still playing. Of course, last time someone asked Austin Federley the same question, and he said he has to get to at least Matt Graham's age.
That's honestly kind of the answer.
I don't know if that's a leaping
point.
For
Usually, I
you.
go, well, Graham is his age, and I think I can do it as long as him. So as long as I'm still playing at a high level and having fun, which I have the most fun when I tie up my skates every single day of the week. So I'm going to keep doing it for as long as I can.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm right there with him. I love it. That's why I've still been doing it. But I don't know. This year might more than most likely will be my last year just because. But we're going to finish it off with a championship, so that's all that matters. Let's go out on top.
There's no better way to finish it off. I think we have one more here in the back. We'll get to you next. I have another one from an anonymous member here, Ben Brockway, 5693, which implies that there are 5,692 Ben Brockways before him. He wants to know who's the undisputed sauna king.
Oh, I mean, I would say myself, but like that's just a hot topic.
It's
are you
he
going
offered
to say
you
yourself?
Well, I would say myself, but for the sake of this question, I would probably have to go with Vincent DeCumis.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Vinny now. It used to be Pars, but I'm gonna go with Vinny because he wears that ridiculous looking hat when he goes in the sauna.
He wears a hat don't worry.
But it does actually work. It's called a sauna cap. It
sauna
don't
keeps
worry.
your head from overheating while you're in the sauna.
Don't worry, caps are on the way, kid. They're coming.
How many did you order?
Everyone,
4.
So, okay.
Is everyone getting their number on there? So you'd be.
Yeah, we could. We could
be
do some.
embroidered.
There are some sweet custom ones, like a little Viking
Puts
hats.
in-
Like I thought that would have been pretty cool. But Vinny
Just get
for
the
sure.
cheap ones.
Custom
Yeah.
custom sauna caps. Amanda, hit up Amazon.
put it
custom
on the
sauna
budget.
caps. Yeah. Yeah. What's our question in the back here?
This one is for Alex.
Ooh.
So, after you get married, how soon can we expect grandkids?
Oh! It's from the future mother-in-law, Alex Johnson. How soon for grandkids?
Well, on that topic, I guess we've announced. No, I'm kidding.
Nice.
That was good.
I don't know. I would love to have a little Alex Johnson or Alexis Ballard running around. So, yeah, I guess it would be Alexis Johnson at that point. But I don't have a definitive answer for that. But no, I think we're gonna go Johnson.
You taking the? Yeah, we can't afford to change the name bars on the back of his jersey,
Yeah,
so
too
it's
many out there already.
got to keep it as Johnson.
That's gonna be a ball energy. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I don't know if I could handle 2 Alexis running around.
What about 2 of you, buddy?
Yeah, she wouldn't be able to handle 2 of me running around either.
Exactly.
So that,
I'm not saying I'm out of this combo.
Yeah, the other 2 are gonna stay out of this one.
Yeah, I'm out.
We'll plead the 5th. Another question here from the back.
So, which one of you is going to break Pace's penalty minute record in Port Huron first?
Dave Peabody wants to know who's breaking the penalty minute record, and he's an off-ice official. That creates more work for him, so that's an interesting question from him.
It's a record I'd be willing to take.
do you know how close we are to that record? I feel like that's just an astronomical number.
Not very close.
I don't think.
But I
anyone's
will
that
say
close.
every year.
Every
year I go into the year and I tell myself I'm not going to have 100 penalty minutes this year.
Yeah.
And then every year
This
there's
shit
like
happens.
15 games left and I'm like, I can't believe I hit 100 penalty minutes again.
I mean, I think I looked recently. I'm at like 600 maybe all time, but like Joe is at 1800, so nobody's coming close to that. But
Is he that high?
He's up there.
Okay.
I don't know.
He's over 800 as a prowler. I know that, and the
Okay.
next person is like, I think it's Graham with like 500 something. So
I think
very
I think
far
I'm
off.
above Graham. Me and him kind of flip flop.
All right,
we're very
let's
close
look.
to each other.
I will
Let's
say
bring up
though,
elite
a strong
prospects here.
candidate for that now because of recent news might be Ben Brockway.
Ben Brockway
He's got over 80 penalty minutes in 12
I mean,
games, and
if you're looking at PIMs per game, then Ben Brockway is.
Well, BUA last year had I think 70 in however many games he played, like 30 or 40, and obviously he's blown that out of the water. So.
Yeah, he's up to a torrid start in the penalty minute department. All right. Oh, you are past Graham. All right, Alex Johnson, second place with 612, just over 260 penalty minutes or 250 penalty minutes shy of Joe Pace.
So it sounds like I'll be breaking that in 2 years.
Yeah,
only 2 years.
2
Only
years.
2 years.
2 years is the correct answer.
So make sure you have enough pens with you to write all that down. Yeah. Ben Brockway. What? You have another one here from Ben Brockway. Alex Johnson, who wins in a fight? You or a Bengal Tiger?
I mean, I'm probably gonna have to go with the Bengal Tiger.
You sure?
Yeah, I don't even know how it would begin to.
I just want
to go with the fight.
You know how you attack that?
Yeah, I could use my skate blade. It's coming at me. I just kick it up.
Oh, like Joe Pace.
At its throat.
Yeah.
Since we have Joe Pace on the topic, pull off your skating.
Yeah.
I've seen that live. Twice.
You've seen a lot.
Oh yeah. That's what happens when you play 7 years in the same place. You just see
there-
a lot of things.
Is there any story that you'd like to share? One of your favorite Port Huron stories that maybe one that you can share? I know that's the extra part of it.
one?
I think Chris Paul wants a story about himself.
All right.
Chris Paulin wants one with himself in the story.
Make sure he's in.
Or how about the thermostat debacle when we lived at the trailer? I think we lived in a double wide trailer my first year with when Chris was still playing, and we had
a little bit different from the nice apartments you guys have now.
Yeah, well, it was a fun time. We enjoyed it. We made the best of it. But some highlights of that year, I think we had no Wi-Fi, so we had a half Jenga set. So we just got nasty at playing Jenga. It was a very wide living room, so we played Slapshot Regatta, so that was fun. But I think the best was that near the end of the year where we had 7 or 8 guys, and my only door was the doors to my room were to the master bedroom and outside, so that's how we were living. But it was one year, or it was later in the year, where we had a thermostat issue where one of the Euro guys, Patrick Tundle, right, was turning up the thermostat at night to 75 degrees, and we're all yo, you can't do that. Why? He's I'm cold at night. And we're well,
the Euros always love to turn the thermostat.
Yeah. Exactly.
You go into their hotel room on the road, it'll be at 80 degrees the whole entire time.
Yeah, exactly. So then we asked him, we're what blanket do you have? He had a big comforter, and we're well, what do you wear under that? He's oh, nothing. And we're well, put a sweatshirt on, buddy. Oh my goodness. And I believe our buddy Matt Worst, who hurt his knee at the time, was always home, so he would just jack the thing down to 45 degrees just to make a point. And then I think Artie Drenzozic, he was a Russian guy, was you can't do that. No more. We can't do that. No. So that was a pretty good one. To keep it PG.
Yeah, I was going to say, to keep it PG, that's probably in the top 10 of best story, but yeah, number one of ones you can tell here on the Coaches Show.
And if you want to check out the rest of that episode or any
Fire projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers Hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Okay, hopefully we're back now. We've had internet issues throughout the weekend here in Wytheville. Hopefully we stay kind of stabilized throughout the rest of tonight's game. But let's take a look around the FPHL, and we start with our FPHL storylines. And we start with the Indiana Sentinels, who have hired a new assistant coach, Blake Peavy, who played in the FPHL for a few teams, including the Carolina Thunderbirds, where he was a teammate of current Indiana head coach Everett Thompson back in the 2021-22 season. So another man behind the bench there in Indiana. Vadim Frolov has been suspended 2 games with a cross-checking match penalty to the head of Zach Demaray at the end of last night's game. Just his 3rd game back with the hat tricks after returning from the SPHL. Finally, the Twin City Thunderbirds have unveiled a new logo to be added to their logo set. That was added via a fan submission contest, narrowed down to 4 and put to a vote this week. The winning design scene there was created by fan Gavin Moody and will be featured on a red alternate jersey later on this season. Take a look now, keeping it around the league, at our out-of-town scores. Quick look around the league here, and we start with those Thunderbirds trailing the PD Ice Cats 4-2 right now, late stages of the 3rd. Dominik Marcinkovic and Patrick Marcinkovic each have a goal. Roman Kramer both for the Thunderbirds. Binghamton Black Bears up 3-0 on the Danbury Hat Tricks as they play in period number 2. Gavin Yates, Mac Jansen, who had a hat trick last night, and Austin Thompson, the goal scorers for Binghamton, that one in Danbury. The Columbus River Dragons up big right now in the Biloxi Breakers. 5-1. Tyler Barrow has scored twice. Alex Dorjahan, Kevin Zabad, and Ryan Hunter also with goals for the Dragons. It was 5-0 until Brandon Lucchese finally got the Breakers on the board. They're approaching the midway point of that game, 5-1. Moccasins up 2-1 on the Athens Rock Lobsters. Andrew Bellant scored 17 seconds into that game. Danil Glukariev answered. 2 minutes later, Yanni Liarakos gave the Mocs back the lead, 2-1 there. Finally, the Topeka Scarecrows and Baton Rouge Zydeco tied up at a goal apiece. Ilner Moundiarov has the one for the Zydeco. He was signed back earlier this weekend. Meanwhile, TJ Sneath, the tally for the Scarecrows. And once again here, it is 2-0 in favor of the Blue Ridge Bobcats. One quick look at our game stats so far. Prowlers up in the shots on goal department. Bobcats have scored on their only power play. Prowlers 0 for 1 on the man advantage. And we'll see if Port Huron can find something here coming out of the locker room for period number 2. As Reed Cooper slots into the goal crease down to our left. He made 11 saves on 13 Bobcat shots. Anthony Schrum down the goal crease to our right. 15 of 15 in that opening 20. Still a power play for the Bobcats with Matt Graham sitting in the box for another 51 seconds. Appropriate number for Graham. And we're back underway. Klinecki starts things up. He has the power play goal for the Bobcats. Didn't like where that pass ended up. So it ended up on Nick Favaro's stick, but DeVito hard on the forecheck, able to win it. Kazirev. Let it up to the top. Klinecki sent it right back where it came from. Got past Kazirev. Johnson took a look over his shoulder. Now Kazirev working up. Got to Klinecki. Wants the blue line. Kazirev. Down low, Martin. Back to Kazirev. Klinecki steps up. Near side. Got it back. Graham set to come out of the box. Martin has backhand feed in front and a save by Cooper with the right pad, robbing DeVito. As the Bobcats were able to work it around and around and around. And they got it down low. Nick DeVito with a touch on it. And Reed Cooper with that right pad, able to make the save and cover up just as the penalty expired. So the Bobcats now 1 for 2 on the man advantage. They still have a 2-0 lead. Of course, as the cliche goes, the next goal is a big one in a 2-goal game. Brandon Reller try to feed it out top. Erickson had it bounce back to him, wheeling all the way around the zone. Bounce to the point. Andrioli back to Erickson. Wrist shot off a stick. Comes to the far side. Radchenko keeps it in. Andrioli hustling to that puck. Gets there first. Daly and Brockway cancel out. Andrioli and Parsons battling for it. Bizal just able to poke it out of the zone. Erickson gave it right to Parsons. Played it off to the boards away from the oncoming Bobcat. And now DeCumbus scoops up the loose puck, trying to bolt ahead. Farusith takes over. Erickson off of Daly, skate right to Reller. Cooper will leave it off for Tim Organ. In an area, Radchenko just claps it off the back wall. And Federley will try and start something up for the Prowlers. Dipped ahead. Romano spins off of Anderson. Comes back to Federley. Prowlers in the midst of a change as Organ weaves to the near side. Romano drops it back, and it's Slovak. Waiting for the breakout to begin. 2.5 gone in period 2, a 2-0 lead for the Bobcats. Lucas Lockney, you saw his lengthy 8-game point streak snapped last night in the win. He'll try and get back on the score sheet as he's deep in the Bobcats end on the forecheck, but the clearing attempt got past Bucell. Favaro with his head up. High flip out, blocked by Klinecki at the red line. Skated into by Bucell. Then Kazirev tries to turn it up. Stolen by Favaro, and Stuckless takes it in kind. Stuckless took a hard hit there from Bucell. He's slow to his skates. Meanwhile, the Prowlers in 3-on-2. Bucell rips it right into the catching glove of Anthony Schrum. Players will have to be separated here from the Bobcats netminder. Now Jamie Bucell decided to rip it on that 3-on-2 rush. You see the big hit there by Bucell flying in on Stuckless. And again, he was slow to his skates after that sequence. And Bucell decided he would rip it. Schrum made an easy looking glove save. Not the face-off shot towards the net. Didn't get all the way through. Another attempt ends up behind the cage. Lockney tried to stop it. Sits in the crease. Schrum wouldn't cover. And the Bobcats clear it away. That was a little bit odd as Anthony Schrum just wouldn't clamp the glove on top of a puck in reach. Here's Reller flying up with Daly. But his pass knocked away. Andrioli following up the play on the backhand. He scores! Second of the night for Carson Andrioli. Makes it 3-0. Federley got in between that first pass, and then Andrioli went right to the backhand. Able to slide around Federley and slip it past Reed Cooper. Carson Andrioli up to 3 goals now this season, with 2 coming here tonight. We'll get a new centerman for this draw at center ice. Prowlers trailing it 3-0. Tied up, Brockway for Parsons, up to Price. Indirect pass, Anderson trying to spin up with it. Mercurio able to shadow his every move. Romano up the wall, DeVito touch for Mercurio. 2-on-1 with Ferusith. Mercurio to Ferusith. Cooper came out to make the save as Ferusith was trying to control it in his skates. Another odd man rush there for the Bobcats. Anderson by himself. And he reverse hits Romano there. Up comes Ferusith. His shot right into Cooper's glove, and he'll hang on. Bobcats with odd man rush. With an odd man rush again, 2-on-1. Ferusith couldn't finish it off. A concerning trend though here. Look at it again. Mercurio's just able to get it across, and Ferusith lost it in his skates. Here's a one-timer that's blocked up in the air. Bazal moves up 1-on-3, and he gets it deep. Klinecki steps out the right wing side, back across near side. Martin taken in by Bucell as the puck is sent deep in the Prowlers' end. Bazal took a hit. Bucell pulls that puck in. For Favaro, Kazirev with a good poke to get his stick in the way. Demetrio drops it off for Kazirev. All the way across. Martin had the pass behind him. Couldn't bring it in. James dinks it for Bucell. Erickson gave it away. Bucell up to Radchenko. Bucell the other direction. gets to the red line, spinning off Radchenko, and he dumps it right in on Schrum. He'll cover up for a whistle and a face-off. We'll take a timeout. Carson Andrioli has his second of the night. The Bobcats with a 3-0 lead, trying to earn the split this weekend. Back here in Virginia, Prowlers trailing the Bobcats 3-0. We play here in period number 2. Want to, again, we want to say hi to some Prowler fans who made it out, made the trip down to Virginia for this game, staying back behind the net. Hope they're enjoying themselves. See if the Prowlers can get a goal for them down on that end. Do want to give another apology for the internet issues here. Again, unfortunately, one of those things that's just out of our control. As the internet that's been given to us didn't work really well last night. We're trying different things tonight. And again, unfortunately, having issue. Wheeling up. Off to Reller on the left wing side. Centered, Radchenko by himself, and a big save. Cooper rebound. Daly couldn't get it to go. Erickson try to drop it back. Now Lockney with a man in front. Lockney takes it. Couldn't get a shot away. Got it to the point. Parsons wrists it through. Didn't get all the way through. Stick down on the ice belongs to Reller. Andrioli for Daly. Back to Andrioli with 2 in the game. His pass behind his intended target. Romano skies it back in, and Parsons back for it. Parsons gets into the offensive end. Parsons from Morick. Just couldn't get a good shot off as that puck rolled on him at the last moment. Puck just disagreeing with the Prowlers everywhere tonight. Centering pass as Price swung and missed it. I think that may have been a Bobcat that actually put it out in front, right near Bobby Price. Feroseth to the trailer. DeVito missed. And then the net got knocked down. It hit the crossbar and covered up by Cooper. As Brockway was battling with a Bobcat, ended up hitting the net, and I think that a puck may have hit those two there. That's what it looks like happened. Looks like the puck hit that battle as DeVito missed the net and came right back to Cooper. Put the glove down on top. Off the draw, Oregon looking ahead for James. The home run pass missed him. And that's a quick icing. Prowlers escape their own end off the face-off. Bizal throws on the brakes. Cycles it down deep for James. Bucell put a hit on. James tripped up by Klinecki, and Daniel Klinecki going to the penalty box. Fans don't like it, but they'll see the Prowlers go to their second power play of the night in desperate need of a goal. You see James tripped up there by Klinecki. And a big power play for the Prowlers. Let's see if they can get things figured out. They were 0 for 7 last night. Lockney walks down the boards. They also negated the rest of their first power play, most of their first power play, with a penalty. Lockney walks to the middle, fanned on the shot. Lavoc trying to get past. Tried a handoff play, that didn't work. Now the Prowlers move back in with numbers. Lockney the backhand save, Schramm pinballed around and cleared. Penalty coming up against the Bobcats as Johnson got taken down by Lavoc. Delayed penalty as Johnson skates back to the Prowler bench, holding his face. Cooper to the bench, Johnson to the bench. Graham with the puck, 6-on-4 right now, as Favaro tries to turn around Martin. Anderson pulls it in on the half wall. Up at the top. Walks to the middle. Anderson looking for a shooting lane, and he sets it right into Schrumm's glove. And now we'll get the call. Alex Johnson took a stick up high on his way to the net earlier on that shift. There's the turnover. Prowlers working back in. And watch Johnson there in the middle of your screen. Let's see if we can see it. Oh, right there. As Lavoc got his stick up on Johnson. And a 5-on-3 opportunity. Yet to be seen if it's going to be 2 or 4. It's just going to be the 2. They actually call it cross-checking rather than the high stick. So a 5-on-3 for the Prowlers. They switch units. And if they can get a goal here, certainly feel a lot better about the way this game is going. Federley for DeCumbis. Federley faked. And he let the puck go by out of the zone. Price wheeling back in. Hakala tries the net, and a rising shot. Schrumm got a piece. Bucell collects it. 25 to go in the 5-on-3. Federley for Price. DeCumbis standing in front of Schrumm. Bucell walks in. Challenged by Andrioli, who stole the puck. And the Bobcats clear. Nothing getting going on the Prowlers' power play. As Klinecki is set to step out of the penalty box, Favaro works his way up. Lockney waves in, ran into Daly. Martin turns and fires it down. Favaro the next one to touch it as Johnson knocked it down with a high stick. And that's the reason for the whistle. The discombobulated Prowlers man advantage continues here. They have not been able to get much of anything going. Face off deep in their own end. As this power play will continue, Graham got it all the way to the near side boards. Anderson drops it back for Favaro. Anderson with 3 Bobcats back. Johnson, Favaro, down Main Street, a drive, missed it wide. Lockney to Favaro. Anderson turns the corner, back for Favaro. Have to keep it away from Martin. 19 seconds to go on the power play. Anderson wheeling, watched by Martin. Anderson still with it. Going for another trip around the offensive zone, squeezed off by Klenecki, who takes the puck, working up with Daly. Klenecki floats it in Daly's direction. Back to Klenecki on the backhand, he scores! Just as the penalty expired, the Bobcats get their fourth. As Klenecki beat Favaro up the ice. And a tough night for the Prowlers power play, accentuated by that right there. It won't go down as a shorthanded goal, I believe. I think the penalty expired before the goal, but nothing getting done on that Prowlers man advantage, and the Bobcats turn it into another goal. Justin Daly is going over to the home penalty box. Maybe something of a taunting or something along those lines. We'll find out momentarily, I'm sure. A game dominated by the Blue Ridge Bobcats. 4 goals on 20 shots so far. Austin Federle and Carson Andrioli having a conversation. Maybe something said by Daly over to the Prowler bench. You see Jamie Bucell there pointing at Daly and talking to him as Daly sits in the sin bin. Otek Zemlika has yet to send out his group. And it looks like a 2-minute penalty coming up against Daly. And you see there Daly pointing at the Prowler bench. Probably said something there as well on the right of your screen. So unsportsmanlike conduct, the call against Daly. And the Prowlers power play goes back to work, although might not be too encouraging for Prowler fans. Here's Bucell, getting it down low. Popped up high, and Andrioli picks it off. He has 2 in the game so far, going one-on-one against Federle. Andrioli back for Reller, the one-timer, stopped by Cooper. Federle gathers, chased out by Reller. Wrapped all the way around. Stuckless got it there. His clearing attempt blocked. Pops down to the middle of the ice. Bucell, as he was being knocked down, got a shot away. That Schrum stopped. DeCumbis behind the net. To Bucell. Shot blocked. DeCumbis over to Price. Price walks in. His shot stopped by Schrum again. Bucell. Hakala spinning in the corner. Took a hit from Radchenko. Stuckless going to win the race to this puck and pitchfork it out. 40 seconds left in the Prowlers power play. Lockney reverse for Anderson into Graham. Tried a centering feed that was knocked away. Graham takes a look over to Anderson, and his stick failed him. And isn't that just a representation of the night for Port Huron? Favaro, that broken stick right in front of him, played it through there to Anderson as a fresh twig. Tried a shot from a sharp angle that didn't work. Favaro, Anderson, one-timer off a stick and wide. Penalty has expired. Johnson behind the net. Out to Lockney. Head up high, Favaro, wrister, knocked down. Bounces off the back wall, ends up back there again. Stuckless clears it out. Favaro gathers it in. Daly takes down a Prowler, and Port Huron is going back to the man advantage here. Daly chases after Johnson. And Johnson did all he could to just to keep that from going in his own net as Daly was harassing him. Another penalty coming up. So Justin Daly back to the box a couple more times here. And if only the Prowlers power play could get something going. .6:43 left to go in period 2. We'll figure it all out when we come back here on the PHP Network. There's the first penalty from Daly. He'd take another one before the shift is done. We'll be back.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
Explore 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron in Michigan's Thumb Coast. Begin your adventure on a blanket of golden sand at one of our serene beaches. Connect with the historic atmosphere of our region's nautical influence and reconnect with friends under a blanket of stars. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Back here in Wytheville, they put up 2 minutes up for each Alex Johnson and Justin Daly as they figure things out here. So this may not be a Prowlers power play coming up. Well, looking for a pregame meal? Check out Zip Sauce Burger, located in the Industrial Park Marathon. Zip Sauce, the official burger of the Port Huron Prowlers. So that was the first penalty on Daly that you saw before. This is the second one coming up as he dragged Johnson to the ground. This means Johnson did get 2 penalties, likely, unless that second arm up in the air was for Johnson rather than Daly, and I was mistaken. That's the likely case. We want to give a thank you to the Blue Ridge Bobcats and their media team for the use of their main camera, the one you're looking at right now. So thank you to them for all of their help so that we can get this one streamed to you. And any complaints, please direct them to the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Here's Aiden Vision. That's our camera. All right, now I'm mistaken again. This is a Prowlers power play. Daly got the extra 2. Daly got 2 for holding and 2 for roughing. Johnson, 2 for unsportsmanlike conduct. So the Prowlers back to the man advantage. We'll see if it leads to anything. Anderson. Down low, Graham. Back to Blake Anderson. Favaro walks the blue line. Hakel is lined up in the slot. Anderson, curling drag shot off the back wall. Lockney swipes at it and couldn't get it to go. Favaro for Lockney. Walks his way up top. Now back down. Lockney for Hakela. Back to Lockney once more. Favaro steps in, shoots, deflected wide. Graham got a touch on that one. Favaro pulls it in. Gave over to Anderson. They switch spots. Blake Anderson down to Graham. One touch, Hakela! And I think Schrum got a piece of it with the pad. Bobcats clear halfway through the penalties. DeVito is in there serving this 2 minutes for Justin Daly. He'll be the one that gets to step out of the box once the power play has expired. Erickson claps it off the glass, got past Bucell, and Federley with the oncoming Danny Martin has to retreat. Bucell wheels up with it. Into the Bobcats zone. Cycle down and around. Bazal up top to Federley. Walks the line. Back to Connor Bazal. Sent it right through a few legs. Bucell backpedaling. Up high to Price. 12 seconds to go on the Prowlers power play. Federley. Over to Price. Down to Bucell. Towards Decumbus. That hopped up on him, and back comes Martin the other direction as the penalty expires. Federley bounces it out. Lavac back for it. Prowlers trying to get a change going. And Klinecki hangs out behind his own net. 4.5 left to go. Prowlers power play still over. So they continue to look for their first goal of this game. They've not been held to under 2 goals in a game yet this season. Parsons. Rink wide feed. That got deflected into the Prowler bench as James tried to catch it on his backhand. And we will take our final timeout of this second period. Prowlers trailing by 4.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry Howie's.
Back here in Virginia, Prowlers trailing the Blue Ridge Bobcats by a score of 4-0. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's been a tough one for Port Huron throughout this game. Haven't really been able to get much going, especially on the man advantage. You saw that there on that last power play, which was probably their best actually so far this game. Got a couple of decent looks, but unable to really get anything going. Anthony Schrum has had a strong night as well in between the pipes. Bobcats have been very opportunistic throughout this game. 2 from Daniel Klinecki, 2 from Carson Andrioli. Blake Anderson tried to step around Erickson. Almost gave up the puck, has to hustle back for it. Ben Brockway off the glass, and now it's Morick. Out to Anderson, throws on the brakes. Wrestled down by Erickson. Loose puck grabbed by DeVito. Has Reller with him, 3 Prowlers back. DeVito trying to chip it around, and he'll head off to the bench for a change. Johnson. Rink wide feed. Anderson skates into it. Has Bazal going to the net. And Anderson took a hard hit from Erickson, who takes Anderson's helmet off. And Robin Erickson again wants to know why he's getting a penalty when he just took off Blake Anderson's helmet. You're really not supposed to forcibly remove an opponent's helmet. And you watch Erickson there at the bottom of your screen, pawing at Anderson's helmet, roughing the call, and the Prowlers, who are 0 for 4 by my count on the man advantage, will get another opportunity here. Make it 0 for 5 so far tonight. This is power play number 6. Off the draw, popped high up in the air as the Bobcats tried to clear. Martin batted it past Favaro. Anderson hustling back to win the race, but Martin takes the puck. Anderson able to take Martin off of it. Back come the Prowlers with numbers. 5-on-3 as Martin back behind the play, but Stuckless took it away from Graham, and Martin ended up overskating the puck as it came back to him. Blake Anderson for Favaro. 2.5 to go in the period. Minute 25 now in the penalty. Lockney spinning back. Gave it off to Price. Working downhill. Graham tried to feed it out in front. That was stymied. Whole area congested. Hakela's shot stopped by Schrum down on a knee. Price trying to load it up. Can't do it. Klinecki just able to toss it out. 55 seconds left in the penalty to Eriksson. Price for Federley as the Prowlers reset things. Out to Price, left wing side. Wheeling in. Johnson back for Federley. Johnson again. Federley once more. DeCumbis right in front of Schrum. Price for Federley. Wrist shot off the back wall. And Bucell trying to play the bounce. Couldn't get it to go. Now Price had it poked away by Hlavak. 20 seconds to go in the man advantage. DeCumbis. Price. Federley. Works back up top. Floats it through. Save. Schrum. Didn't know where it was. Ended up popping out to the corner before it's cleared one last time before Eriksson can exit the sin bin. That's another successful PK for the Blue Ridge Bobcats, who came into tonight with the 8th best penalty kill in the FPHL and an even 80%. Prowlers power play percentage suffering. They continue to tumble down the FPHL ranks in that department. Bobcats with numbers. DeVito, Reller, and he shanked the one-timer. Brett Morick up to it. Bazal. 2-on-3. Bazal to the trailer looking for Organ. That wasn't a clean pass, and it's taken in and held onto by Anthony Schrum. Well, coming up in the intermission report here on the PHP Network, highlights and analysis from this first 40 minutes of play. Lots of good for the Bobcats, not so much for the Prowlers. So take a look at the Prowlers' upcoming schedule, out-of-town scores, and much more. It's all coming up here on the PHP Network. Off the draw, Price quickly to the line. Johnson floats it, punched out by Schrum. Johnson steps up to keep it alive. Hard hit there by Stuckless. Came out in front, and Price with a one-hander that's stopped by Schrum. Now Stuckless clears it out just as time expires. 40 minutes down, and 4 goals for the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Lucas Lockney is getting a penalty here at the end of all that. He slashed Stuckless. I believe there will be a penalty to Lockney when we begin period 3, but we will find out at some point during this second intermission. Prowlers with lots of work to do if they are to maintain their perfect record on the second half of back-to-backs this season. And we will talk about it coming up in the second intermission report right here on the PHP Network. Again, highlights and analysis from this first 40 minutes of play. Take a look at the Prowlers' upcoming schedule, out-of-town scores, and much more. It's all coming up here on the PHP Network. See if we can get a look. We cannot because Bobcats moved that camera to center, so we don't get a good look at what happened there right at the end of the second period. And you do see Robin Eriksson pleading his case for one reason or another for the upteenth time in this game. He'll head off the ice along with the referees, and we will take it to our PHP Network second intermission report. Well, secure your seats for the Prowlers' next home game. That'll be this Wednesday, November the 26th, 7:05 p.m. puck drop, as they take on the Indiana Sentinels. That is hockey and gridiron night. We'll be raffling off a pair of tickets to the Detroit Lions Thanksgiving game. And to get into that raffle, you must bring non-perishable food donations. So make sure you bring those non-perishable food donations so that we can, of course, help those in our community have themselves a great Thanksgiving and a great holiday season as well. And again, that will get you entered into a raffle for Detroit Lions tickets to that Thanksgiving game the night after the Prowlers game. How about that for a 2-night stretch? Prowlers and then Lions. I can't think of any better way to spend the Thanksgiving time. So again, be sure to get your tickets. phprowlers.com/tickets. Call the McLaurin box office 810-985-6166. You can scan that QR code on your screen now as well to experience the new McLaurin Place in Arena Entertainment. Really hope to see you on Wednesday night. We'll see what we get coming out of the locker room from the Port Huron Prowlers, but we'll talk about it a little bit coming up next on the PHP Network.
Come on, guys, hop in.
We're not getting in that thing. That thing's gross.
Yeah, I wore my nice pants today. This thing could use a detail. Well, I don't know. Do you know anybody who could detail a boat?
I think that guy could.
Hi, I'm Logan from Ballard's Detail. I can detail your boat.
From oxidized and faded to smooth and glossy, our professional compounding and waxing process will get your boat looking new again. Contact us today at 810-956-8318. Visit us on Facebook at Ballard's Detail LLC.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Hello, I'm home. There he is. What is happening? Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch? Spicy. Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite. Can you stop? Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack Wrap is back.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers.
No look behind the back pass. That's a whole play. I'll say, come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Head over to the Birchwood Mall for your shopping and entertainment needs. Hop on the carousel, shoot some hoops, or visit some of their great stores such as Gerlach's Woodworks, where they specialize in handcrafted wooden decorations. Add to your fan cave a Prowlers themed creation. Upgrade your bathroom at Luxury Bath Mobility Remodelers. They can fully customize your bath or shower to fit your needs, and they also do flooring. For the sports fan in your life, pick up a unique gift from Pro Edge Sports. Jam-packed with all kinds of memorabilia. There's something for everyone. And it's not a trip to the mall without Auntie Anne's pretzels. Grab a freshly made full-size cup of pretzel bites and wash it down with some frozen lemonade. At the Birchwood Mall, you can find this and more. Visit them on 24th Ave in Fort Gratiot.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go Prowlers!
Prowlers!
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring.
We're so screwed.
All right, boys. Here's the game plan. LJ, you start with bananas. B-Way?
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is going to melt. We got to hurry up.
I won't do it.
Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue.
Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milk House gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milk House, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Back here in Wytheville, Prowlers trailing the Blue Ridge Bobcats by a score of 4-0. It's been a tough one here for Port Huron, as you see back there in Port Huron. Prowlers might need a little bit of ice cream or something. That Milk House commercial making me think of ice cream right now. Maybe some rainbow sprinkles on there to make us feel better after the game that we have seen. Unfortunately, we may have lost the camera here in Wytheville. That 2-hour tech problems this season or this weekend. But anyway, as we continue here for this intermission, again, Prowlers trailing by a score of 4-0 to these Blue Ridge Bobcats, a team that they seem to have the upper hand on in last night's game. And yet, again, you always see it in this league. Every night is a new night. And for the Prowlers, they're finding that out certainly here in a difficult way, as the Prowlers have split their last few weekend series, and usually it's losing on Friday, winning on Saturday. But right now, the perfect Saturday record is in jeopardy. Let's take a look at how we got here, starting with the goals for the Bobcats. And we start back in the first period, and it was Carson Andrioli who got the scoring started. Just a quick shot off the faceoff, clean faceoff win, and a quick rip as Michael Mercurio won it back and perfectly clean. And then the Bobcats would continue on the power play. Daniel Klenecki claps that one home. And that made it 2-0 at that point, and the Bobcats would continue. As here's Andrioli's second of the game. Off a rush. Bobcats will get another one off a rush later on. So that would make it 4-0 again. It's 2 for Andrioli, 2 for Klenecki. Klenecki also adding an assist to his 2 goals. So how about a 3-point night for the veteran defenseman Klenecki, who came in with 5 points in 11 games and one of the top point producers on this Blue Ridge Bobcats blue line. Prowlers have certainly had their opportunities, plenty of close but no cigar moments for the Port Huron Prowlers in this game. Let's take a look at some of those here. Bouncing pucks in front of the net. Jamie Bucell got a whack at that one. And then this one, Blake Anderson, a great shooting spot. His stick fails him. And it's just been one of those nights for the Prowlers. They've tried and have been unable to get anything past Anthony Schrum, playing that hard carom off the back glass, and Lucas Lockney couldn't stuff it there. It's another opportunity on the power play as Blake Anderson sent it through, and a one-timer for Artu Hakala from the slot wouldn't go. And the Prowlers are here at a 4-0 deficit, staring up at a big hill to climb. Third periods have been their best period. I don't know if they'll have to pull out their best effort in any period this season to even tie the game. But third periods have certainly been their best period, outshooting their opponents 185 to 112 in third periods this season. And they'll need to throw everything on net as Anthony Schrum has pulled out a heck of a performance, one of his best, certainly this season, if not his best. Schrum looking for his first professional shutout. A Norton Shores, Michigan native and a college teammate of Ben Brockway at Worcester State. Brockway, of course, one of two Prowlers who are natives of Phoenix, Arizona, down there in Cactus Country. But Norton from nearby to Port Huron, at least state-wise, there in Michigan. And he's trying to close out the Prowlers and get his team 3 points to earn the split this weekend. He did beat the Prowlers a couple of weeks ago in this building, and we'll see if he moves to 2-0 against Port Huron before this weekend is out. Again, it would take a Herculean effort from the Prowlers to get themselves back even in this game, much less tied up, but there are 20 full minutes that will go up on the clock just under 7 minutes from now. And we will be able to get you back to the hockey action. Again, more tech support work continuing to go on here. It's just been one of those weekends for us up here in the broadcast booth from a tech perspective. Working on that, and hopefully we will be able to send it back to our Molly Urquhart in our McMorran Place studios when we come back. If not, you'll hear back from me, and that's coming up when we come back here on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on.
Information on our website, phprowlers.com.
And Molly here again in Port Huron. Let's go ahead and take a look at the upcoming schedule for our Prowlers. There is busy times coming up, lots of bus travel. We have our home game on Wednesday, the night before Thanksgiving, and it's going to be hockey and gridiron night. Hockey and football are going to collide the night before Thanksgiving. We'll be hosting a non-perishable food drive, as well as raffling off a pair of tickets to the Detroit Lions Thanksgiving Day game. It's super exciting. Moving forward, we have our home game, or my apologies, we have back on the road in Topeka, 3-3 with the Scarecrows. First visit there for the Prowlers since the neutral site games last season. Opening up in December, visiting the place where last season ended, against the two-time defending champion, Binghamton Black Bears. And the best place to watch every road game, as you know, is at Wings Etc. in downtown Port Huron at our official Prowlers watch parties. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our out-of-town scores. All right, and first off here, we have our final score for the Ice Cats and the Thunderbirds. It is a 6-2, and the Ice Cats took that win. Moving on, we have our Black Bears versus the Hat Tricks. They're currently in the third period, and the Black Bears lead with a 4-1 score. The Biloxi Breakers versus Columbus River Dragons, playing out in Georgia, are in their third period with a score of 1-5 in favor of those River Dragons. The Rock Lobsters and the Moccasins have a score of 1-5, that 5 going to the Moccasins. And moving forward, Scarecrows and Zydeco, score of 2-1 in the second period. And last but not least, we have our Prowlers and Bobcats with a current score of 0-4. Going back to you, Will.
Thank you, Molly. Back here in Virginia. Got ourselves all figured out. You might be shocked to find out this was user error by me, that most recent issue. those of you who know me pretty well will not be shocked at all. As we are getting set for the third period, coming up in just a couple of minutes. Take a look at the stats where those are standing right now through 40 minutes of play. Again, Prowlers up on shots in this game, although this season they have not been very good when they've won the shot battle. They've actually been better when outshot. I mean, they're 9-4, so of course they're going to have a winning record when they're winning the shots battle. But 6-4 when out shooting their opponents. Perfect 3-0 when being outshot. Don't know how much stock you can take into that, but here we are. The 0-for-6 on the power play is probably the most glaring number if you're a Port Huron Prowlers fan, with the Bobcats being 1-for-2 on the man advantage. Special teams have been a bit of a struggle over the last few weekends, and we'll see if the Prowlers can kind of get that figured out a little bit better as we continue to move along in this season. And again, they did have a couple of positive-looking power plays as we got towards the end of that second period, but they are still, not there right now, and still unable to get one past Anthony Schrum. As the Prowlers trying to return home with a sweep. They'll have to give a big effort here to return home with that sweep. After the home game again this upcoming Wednesday, Prowlers will be back out on the road for a 5-game road trip. Topeka and Binghamton on the schedule, as you just heard from Molly. Should be very, very interesting, those two trips, especially going to Binghamton, place where the Prowlers had their season ended at the end of last year. Back in the Commissioner's Cup semifinals to the eventual champion Black Bears, two-time defending Commissioner's Cup champion Binghamton Black Bears. But here come the Bobcats and the Prowlers hitting the ice once again. And after 2 weekends ago, a couple of classics, instant classics, the kind of games you want to watch back again and again and again. This weekend, a little bit more one-sided. Prowlers able to smother the Bobcats last night, with a lot of that effort coming from Reed Cooper in between the pipes. Tonight, it's been all Bobcats on the scoreboard. Let's see if the Prowlers can do what the Bobcats did last night and ruin Anthony Schrum's shutout late, or maybe even early in this period. Get themselves back in the game. Get themselves a little bit of confidence here. So Lucas Lochte did not incur a penalty at the end of that second period. I did see the referee point to him and then point to the box, but nothing came through there. So we will start period 3, 5-on-5. Jamie Bucell will take the draw against Mike Mercurio to begin period number 3. Once players behave. Mercurio and Parsons see them jawing with each other. Mercurio at center, Parsons on the defensive position for the Prowlers. Puck is down, and period number 3 has begun. DeVito gets the first attempt towards the net, slid it along the ice wide, came back to the point on the drive from the line there, off a stick, and Bucell able to get it out of the zone. Brett Moore, who scored his first pro goal last night, lost the handle. Lavac for Mercurio. Gets the red line, soft toss in. Bobcats get their first change of the period going. Parsons up towards James, tried to tip it in Anderson's direction, couldn't do so. Lead pass for Demetrio off his stick. He and Johnson cancel out. Decumbis rims it around the boards. Martin waiting for it. Played right to Luke James, who needs a change. He'll get one after passing it to Favaro. Favaro ran into Seth Bacon there at the blue line, a name that we haven't heard too much of tonight. Now, sometimes that is the mark of a great defenseman, is one that you don't hear from too much. Icing there against the Blue Ridge Bobcats, and the draw will come all the way down the other way. Face off to Shrum's left. Matt Graham's line out there. Looks like the Prowlers not doing anything really in the way of juggling line combinations. Try and get some kind of a spark. You'll see that sometimes in games like this. Heikkila just missed that puck. Up comes Reller. Try to float a pass across. Heikkila on the back check. Took it away. Lucas Lockney drops it off for Federley. Lead pass. Graham couldn't swipe it out of the zone. Lockney turns the corner. Back for Federley. Looking ahead, he has Anderson working in 1-on-3. Anderson trying to work around Radchenko. He lost an edge and went down. Price scoops up the puck, gets it back from Favaro. Favaro again, wrister off of Shrum's glove and to the back boards. Anderson pulls it off the wall. Price swung and missed at the one-timer. Now Johnson down towards Morick, centering feed. Price on his backhand, able to win the puck. Anderson down towards Morick. Erickson tried to muscle him off. Radchenko up the boards. Andrioli couldn't bring it in. Radchenko trying it again. He'll look to the far side this time. High off the wall. Reller brings it in at the Prowler blue line all by himself. Waits for help. Ferosith. Backdoor play and slipped wide by DeVito. DeVito wants the pass. Levac tried to get it there. Ramped off a Prowler stick. Now it's Bucell. Off the glass, hit Bazal. Slid out to neutral ice. And James gets it deep. Levac for Romano. Mercurio in DeVito's direction. That didn't work, and an icing called against the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Still searching for our first shot of period number 3. 3.5 minutes gone in it. And that trend certainly favors the Blue Ridge Bobcats more than the Port Huron Prowlers. Graham's line out there for the draw. He'll take it against Mercurio. Lockney to the point. Federley's attempt on net was blocked. DeVito couldn't get it ahead. Lockney rims it around. Popped out, Federley pokes it down low. Heikkila, Lockney couldn't bring it in. Pass was in his skates. And Lucas Lockney was all by himself in front of Shrum. Oregon, headman feed out of Heikkila's reach. No icing here, so Shrum will play it off to Bacon. Left wing side, Demetrio. Trying to get back to that puck. Spun away from it. Price trying to muscle through Martin. Up comes Anderson with DeCumbus. Anderson, curling drag, fanned on the shot. And I don't know who's been keeping track of the number of fan shots by the Prowlers in this game, but sure it's a high number at this point. There's Klinecki, 3-on-2. On the right wing side, 2 in the game for Klinecki. Centering feed off a skate and steered to the corner by Cooper. Martin, a drive right into Cooper's catching glove, and he'll hang on for a whistle and a face-off. Bobcat was knocked down in front. That was Demetrio. These teams will face each other again less than a month from now at McMorran Place, as you see Cooper easily snatch the drive from Martin out of the air.
Once again, ticket number 023-6472.
Face off deep in Prowler ice. who will be to Cooper's right. Graham and Reller on the draw. And Ben Brockway lifted Daly's stick off the faceoff. Daly went down, and Andrioli grabbing Ben Brockway. Those two fought a couple of weeks ago. Andrioli trying to get some punches in. Linesman trying to separate them. And they go down to the ice. Now Parsons and Daly are going to go. Parsons throwing some punches at Daly. And Parsons takes Daly down on the far side. So I guess Justin Daly is all right after collapsing from the stick lift of Ben Brockway off the faceoff. Erickson trying to grab at Parsons, who's pinned underneath Daly right now. Or pardon me, that's Radchenko. And now Radchenko attacking Brian Parsons. So's Daly. Round two, Parsons and Daly. Lines are trying to get them apart again. You don't often see a second round like that. And there's still more. Radchenko and Bucell, and now Erickson involved. Probably that's Graham. Erickson has a hold of Matt Graham. They're having a long conversation. Get your tickets now for when the Bobcats are in Port Huron that last weekend before Christmas. Should be a feisty one. phprowlers.com/tickets. Reller now challenging the Prowler bench. Reller challenging the Prowler bench. And he's escorted back to his bench. We take a look at the replays here as Andrioli and Brockway is how it all started. Referees peeled them apart just as Parsons and Daly were going at it. And then all of a sudden, Radchenko after Parsons, and then Daly won another round of Brian Parsons, and those two almost went knuckle to knuckle again. Chaos here at Hitachi Energy Arena as it's all broken loose for really the second time this week. And you think back to Blake Anderson's hat trick goal last night when things got going, not to this degree. But the pad and paper are out for the referees. You see one of the referees there with one of those little flip open pads writing down the penalties like a traffic cop writing down tickets for illegally parked cars. I think he's got the same stance as well. Prowlers trainer Bridget Smith is heading over to the visitors' penalty box. All the fans standing here at Hitachi Energy Arena, at least on this side. Can't really see what's going on in the boxes except by that camera angle that you're looking at right now from Aiden Vision. Referees still having discussions. Nothing has come down on the penalty sheet yet. And I expect it to be a couple minutes until we get something. Let's take another look. Watch Daly on the inside. Brockway lifted Daly's stick, caught him up high as well. Daly collapsed down to the ice. Andrioli came in to fight Brockway. And then Daly seemed to be perfectly fine after that. He started fighting with Brian Parsons as this was all going on. Says both linesmen were distracted by Brockway and Andrioli. There go Parsons and Daly. And then Radchenko hears probably the part that you might have the most problem with, as it seemed like everything was about over. They separated Parsons and Daly, and then Radchenko or Erickson, one of the two tall trees standing there, decided to start things back up, and then you see Radchenko going after Lucas Lockney. He grabbed at Parsons, who had already finished a fight. Yeah, that's not what you're looking for. Jamie Bussell pointing over to the Prowler bench. I think somebody else has to go over there. And seeing there, Daly and Parsons round 2. Fans enjoying it here at Hitachi Energy Arena. Matt Graham is being escorted to the penalty box. He and Erickson grabbed a hold of each other way at the end of all of that. And now Graham gets to take a seat in the sin bin. See if we can count the Prowlers in there. I see 3 on our screen right now. Looks like 3 Bobcats in there as well. Erickson, Radchenko, and Daly are all in there. Oh, so's Andrioli. So make it 4 Bobcats and 3 Prowlers, Parsons, Brockway, and Graham. There you see the 4 Bobcats. Well, these two teams certainly know how to fill a penalty box. We've seen that. Every single game these two teams have played, there's been at least 3 or more in a penalty box at a time. And now Brian Parsons has been given an early exit. And Parsons saluting the crowd as he heads off. Justin Daly has also stepped out of the penalty box, and he is also on his way off. Daly yelling at the Prowler bench. Chris Paulin chirping back along with most of the Prowlers over there. Chris Paulin, of course, a fierce competitor back there behind the Prowler bench. So they've at least decided that Parsons and Daly are not returning for this game. Again, nothing yet down on the penalty sheet that I can access. Who knows what they have down there on all their scratch pads. One of the referees might have to start writing on his hand at this point so they can get everything figured out. Lucas Lockney heading over to join the party in the Prowler penalty box. He wants to know what he did. Lockney might just be guilty by association. Is accomplice a penalty in hockey? Somebody look that up. Do you get 2 minutes for being an accomplice? Maybe that would be a third man in. That's not really what Lockney did. Lockney was just kind of standing there and got involved. Not exactly was looking to get involved, but got involved anyway. And as Radchenko and Erickson were giving him some pushes and shoves throughout the whole brouhaha. Players skating laps down in their respective ends, trying to stay loose while all of this continues to get figured out. If I had a nickel for every time we've seen players in this building step off the bench and take laps because figuring out penalties was taking too long this season. I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that's happened twice, right? I think we might be on the 4th or 5th song of the playlist since the referees have headed over to the penalty boxes. They might run out of music by the time we're done. Oh, here we go. We have the penalties. They keep playing this many songs back to back. They might get an ad.
5 minutes for fighting. Another 5 minutes for fighting. And a game misconduct.
So Brian Parsons, 5 for fighting, 5 for fighting in a game misconduct. Ben Brockway is being escorted off the ice. So Lockton got 2 for cross-checking. I was trying to hear the penalties through everything here. There's 2 minutes up on the board for both Matt Graham and Lucas Lockney right now. And now they're adding penalties over on the other side. They put up Nikita Kazirev's number. That can't be right. Kazirev was not on the ice for that. I'll wait until this all gets written down on my penalty sheet to let you all know. And now they've changed it to 11. That makes a lot more sense. That's Dennis Radchenko. Is this a Bobcats power play? Seems to be the case, unless another penalty goes up on the Blue Ridge side of things. Austin Federley, you see they're having a long conversation. Daniel Klinecki, alternate captain for these Bobcats, also involved. They have now taken Radchenko off the board. This is a 5-on-3. Austin Federley is signing the number 4 to his bench. There are 5 Bobcats hitting the ice. 2 penalties up on the board for the Prowlers. 4 Prowlers are standing on the ice right now. 3 over by their bench, and 1, Alex Johnson having a conversation with Nikita Kazirev. All right, and now let's change everything. It's just Ben Brockway's number up on the board. All right, 2 minutes for Ben Brockway. That is the only penalty that affects on-ice manpower. It's the Bobcats' 3rd power play of this game. Connor Bazal will have to skate over to serve it. The party in the penalty box grows, and hopefully the play on the ice will start momentarily. Danny Martin has his power play unit out there for Blue Ridge. We're down to 3 Prowlers and 3 Bobcats in the penalty boxes, and we're back underway. Mercurio down to the corner to Martin. Johnson trying to get through Mercurio. He does. Working up with Anderson. Johnson, Curlin drag shot, but he fanned on it. DeVito weaves in on the outside. Rims it all the way around. And it's cleared down by Favaro. Klinecki works his way up, right wing side, rims it. Federley chopped at it, couldn't get it past the group tied up on the boards. Favaro and Klinecki after it in deep. Good poke by Favaro, turned and slid down the ice by Brett Morick. Martin working his way up. 51 seconds left on the power play for Blue Ridge as Alex Johnson cleared it only as far as the neutral zone, but he got it out of his end. They've not yet attempted to start putting penalties down on my penalty sheet. Hopefully they get to that before the end of this game so we can accurately give you the penalty minutes. As Stuckless' shot is blocked, and Arttu Heikkila sends it the length of the ice. Slovak, 15 to go on the man advantage. Ferosith chops it up out of play, and we will take a timeout. Bobcats man advantage will continue for another 9 seconds when we come back here on the PHP Network.
Hi, what can I get for you?
I'd like some McMorrin fries, please.
All right, that's going to be $4. Okay.
She shoots, she scores with the new Prowlers debit card.
Don't you have somewhere to be? The game's on.
Get your Prowlers debit card only at Flagship Community Federal Credit Union, located on Lapeer Road in Port Huron. Flagship Federal Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Just a few seconds left on the latest Bobcats power play after all the commotion and all of the wild stuff that went on. Prowlers almost out of it here, but they are still trailing by a score of 4-0. Luke James will come in and take the face-off instead of Morick. Comes to the boards, pushed up high, Bacon floats it through, save Cooper. Morick hustling after it, but a pinching Romano gets there first. Bazal out of the box, so we're back to 5-on-5. Pass across, goes high up in the air, and into the protective netting, up out of play. Well, the Prowlers are on the ice, so grab a glass of Proper 12 Irish Whiskey. Proper 12, the official shot of the Port Huron Prowlers. Please drink responsibly. There's new things coming with the Prowlers partnership with Proper 12, I can tell you that. Some cool stuff that we got to talk about this week as Lockney and Graham are escorted back to their bench. The only one left in a penalty box right now is Carson Andrioli. Cool new stuff that you'll see around town. That's the only hint I'm going to give. But this about that partnership between the Prowlers and Proper 12. Here's Bobby Price with a pass in front. Anderson stopped by Schrum. Anthony Schrum staying hot tonight. Giveaway. Demetrio at a rising shot, glove down by Reed Cooper on the other end. So Alex Johnson just put it to the middle of the ice, and PJ Demetrio, the only one there to grab it. "21 saves tonight for Cooper. Tough one for him. A couple of screenshots that went in, a couple of odd man rushes. Last night, Chris Paulin talked about how he was able to cover for a lot of defensive breakdowns by the Prowlers. Tonight, Bobcats able to take more advantage of those breakdowns. They continue to battle for this puck along the corner boards, finally dragged out by Oregon. Klinecki turns off the far side boards, kept alive. Bacon will try this way. Pass was beyond Kazirev. And we'll go all the way down for an icing with 12:08 left to go in regulation. Prowlers trailing by 4. Trying to find something here. Offensive zone faceoff. They have Graham, James, and Bazal out there. Prowlers down to 4 defensemen, by the way, for the rest of this game, with Brian Parsons and Ben Brockway both getting kicked out. Here comes Klinecki with Stuckless. Stuckless tried to slide it. I'm not sure if that was back to Klinecki or just a sliding shot towards the far post. Either way, he missed. Stuckless trying to turn back up. Grabbed by Romano off the bench. Igor Romano waves in, knocked off his stick. James just chips it out. Pitchforked right back in. Favaro away from the oncoming Mercurio. Johnson had his pass almost intercepted. Johnson will get another chance here. DeCumbis towards Favaro, passes behind him. Favaro able to one-hand it ahead. And now Demetrio picks it up. Has DeVito with him. Demetrio to DeVito. Trying to drag it through Anderson, who picked his pocket. Now Blake Anderson firing up the right wing side. He couldn't dangle through as the puck slid harmlessly to Schrum. He covers up. Erickson and Anderson having a conversation after they came together. Looks like nothing further will stem from that. Just over 9 minutes gone in period number 3. See Blake Anderson here. Erickson able to stand him up. Schrum with another clean save. 31 stops for Anthony Schrum tonight, 31 of 31. Klinecki tried to chop at it. Bounced up the wall right to Reller. So the Bobcats able to escape their zone. Cooper decides to cover up for another whistle and another face-off here. Oh, and there's a hard slash from Reller on Tim Organ. Reller is heading to the penalty box here, but more post-whistle extracurriculars. See if we might be able to get another look at that. Reller stepping into the home penalty box. Again, that was after the play had ended. Happened off screen, off there to the right. But the referee certainly saw it. And now they're giving 2 as well to Austin Federley. Saw it right there. So Federley gets 2 for slashing. And Reller 2 for unsportsmanlike. How about some 4-on-4 hockey here in period 3? Draw will be deep in Prowler territory. Reller and Federley still having conversations in the penalty boxes. Off the draw, Oregon able to toss it out. He took a check. Back in comes Demetrio, right wing side, swallowed up by Cooper. And now Oregon going after Romano, who's right in front of Reed Cooper. That draws a crowd. Cooper back set. DeCumbus off the bench to take the face-off against number 23 opposite Michael Mercurio. And Mercurio wins the battle of the 23s, while Vach towards the net behind his intended target, and Bucell takes over. Trying to spin away from Romano. Oregon to Johnson, shaking up the left wing side. Pass to DeCumbus off his skate. Prowlers will get a change here as Romano fires back up. Drops the shoulder. Romano around the net. Martin taking checks from Anderson. Martin gets through. Martin to the front. Just out of Demetrio's reach. Romano chased by Anderson, able to shake loose. Hlavik over to Romano. Just able to slide it up in Kazirev's direction. Kazirev working in. Lost it. Here comes Hakala. Prowlers with 3 forwards and a defenseman on the ice right now. Price, Anderson, Hakala, and Favaro. Here's Kazirev, a drive! Rising shot, Cooper got a piece. Martin retreats back. Up to Kazirev. Price able to chop at Kazirev's stick. Fans want a penalty, none coming. Favaro skates back up with it. Around for Rusev. Favaro wheeling in. Favaro with a shot, and that wouldn't go. It looked like it might have been behind Strum for a moment. Back to 5-on-5. Lockney hands it off to Johnson. Working in, makes a move to the middle. Johnson, Lockney deflected, pinballs around. Strum down. Federley tried to center again. And instead, here come the Bobcats. 2-on-1 for Rusev with Reller. For Rusev to Reller. Pass was way behind him. Lockney on the counter, all by himself. His team needs a change. Morick comes in to throw a check. And now it's passed up to Reller by himself with the Prowler. Blue line save, Cooper, and another stop. Reller back in front, and Mercurio swung and missed at it. Prowlers had some confusion on a line change, and that left Brandon Reller with an outright breakaway from the Port Huron blue line. Oregon spun down to the ice. Demetrio centered and cleared away from danger by Artu Hakula. That will just make it to the goal line for an icing. And that will take us to a timeout. Reed Cooper coming up with a couple of big stops. Take a look there at Bobby Price. We'll be right back here on the PHP Network.
Discover everything banking should be with Advia Credit Union, like earning real financial advantages. You can earn up to $1,000 with your new account. Plus, save an average of nearly $4,000 in interest when refinancing. Get started with a low-rate credit card balance transfer. Enjoy easy access to your money anytime, anywhere. Make the switch today at adviacu.org/real people. Advia Credit Union. Real advantages for real people.
.740 left to go in period number 3. Prowlers trailing the Blue Ridge Bobcats by a score of 4-0. Martin set to draw against Brett Morick. Demetrio right behind Danny Martin. Morik won the face-off away from Martin, so no danger there for the Prowlers. They're able to rim it out of the zone. High flip right back in. Heikkila flags it down. And now offsides may be called here against the Bobcats. Martin and Morik engaged. Oregon now having a chat with Danny Martin. They'll move the faceoff outside the zone, maybe all the way down. We'll see. I believe it was an offsides call, delayed offsides here. Indeed, that was the call as the Bobcats went back in on delayed offsides, and then still there right at the very end, Morik and Martin engaging. Bobcats able to change here. They'll send out Mike Mercurio's line to go up against Graham, Anderson, and Price. Off the draw, Price trying to settle down the bouncing puck. Just slides it to the corner. Rimmed around to the near side for Rusith. For Mercurio. Left the puck behind. Mercurio trying to get back on it, he does. And he chips it in. Bavaro trying to move it ahead. Pop to the middle of the ice. Mercurio trying to settle it down. Again, that puck continues to bounce and hop as it has all night long. High flip by Eriksson. Lands and takes a sharp turn towards the boards. Heikkila tips it in. Schrum keeps it moving for Radchenko. Eriksson around to the far side. Oregon bounced it off a shin pad. And DeVito bounces it out. Reller working in, knocked away. Lockney turning up. Leaves for Federley. Reller coming in hard on him. Heikkila and Bacon chasing. Reller all the way up to Demetrio. Into the offensive zone. Klinecki heading towards the net. DeVito on goal, sticked away by Cooper. And Heikkila able to find the rebound. Under 6 to go in period 3. Prowlers trail by 4. Here's Bavaro speeding in. Bavaro shot, he scores! Nick Favaro, a rip off the post and in. There goes the shutout bid for Anthony Schrum. And just as the Bobcats did last night to the Prowlers, ending Reed Cooper's shutout bid late, Nick Favaro does it there with his team-high 6th goal of the season. And the best sound in hockey, dink off the post and in. Does that give Chris Paulin enough confidence to pull Reed Cooper at some point? We know Paulin is very aggressive on the goalie pulls. See if the Prowlers end up with an extra attacker at some point. Austin Federley looking to wheel up, makes a move. Federley working back in. Sent around. And then dumped out. This one rolling all the way, and it will go for an icing. Although one linesman called it off, the other linesman blew it dead. So what's the call here? Bobcats are changing. So the faceoff will be at center ice, so no icing actually here. As they will say, yes, they say Federley stopped skating, coming back for it. Bobcats control this draw. Anderson with a steal. Trying to work his way in, had it poked out. Johnson off the boards. Anderson wheels it around. Schrum stops it. Radchenko around the wall. Hard hit there. And it's tossed out of the zone. Johnson trying to keep it away from Mercurio. Favaro steps around Radchenko, who missed on a hit. Price pokes it around in Anderson's direction. Favaro able to knock the puck out of the air. Radchenko trying to control it. Corralled finally by Mercurio. Both teams making changes as Mercurio saucers it in right on Cooper. 4:40 left to go in regulation, a 4-1 game. Lockney turns up, right up the middle. Played it off of a Bobcat. Blue Ridge able to get it out. Here comes Demetrio with Kazirev going to net. Got it to him, and Kazirev slipped it right through the crease. Demetrio again. Kazirev centering feed, one-timer, ended up in the protective netting, up out of play. And we will take our final timeout as Brandon Reller was bidding for a goal. We'll be back to Wytheville to wrap this one up. Wrap up regulation here on the PHP Network.
Discover 1195 Gastropub in Marysville. Burgers, pizzas, apps, and pub favorites like filet mignon and grilled salmon. Open Monday to Friday, 4 to 9 p.m., weekends 12 to 9 p.m. Join us for happy hour, Monday to Thursday. Enjoy half-off bottles of wine every Wednesday, and don't miss Thirsty Thursday with $4 draft beers. Great food, cold drinks, good times. That's 1195 Gastro Pub.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
We invite you to tune in to our next broadcast. That will be Wednesday, November the 26th, when the Prowlers host the Indiana Sentinels. Puck drop scheduled for 7:05 p.m. and the pregame show starts at 6:45. It's all right here on the PHP Network. Of course, that is Hockey and Gridiron Night at McMorran Place. One of the great promo nights that we have this season. Lots of new promo nights. Brought back promo nights. Every night's a promo night this year at McMorran Place, and we hope to see you out there for a game soon. No specialty jersey that night, but plenty of specialty jerseys coming up this season, including our holiday jersey, most popular one that we got a lot of positive reaction from when it was announced over the summer. Star Wars Night coming back for the second time in Prowlers history. Here's a penalty going against Bobby Price. Star Wars Night was coming up in February. Try and make McMorran Place like the Death Star for the Binghamton Black Bears, who will be in the building that night. But Bobby Price is heading over to the penalty box here. He took down his man behind the net. Boarding is the call against Bobby Price. And a late power play for Blue Ridge. They already have a couple of power play goals tonight. One power play goal tonight. Pardon me. Alex Johnson got the only assist on Nick Favaro's goal. Now up to 10 helpers this season is Johnson, tied with Lucas Lockney for the most on the team. Face off down, you see the puck sliding right through as the camera for some reason not moving here at Hitachi Energy Arena. There we go. Thank goodness we have Aiden here in the building, or else you might miss some of the action. DeVito back to the point. Escape Klinecki. Hakala chips it by Klinecki. In comes Hakala short-handed, but then he fumbled it as that puck was bouncing and rolling on edge. Kazirev hands it off for Klinecki. Under 3 to play. The home run pass off of Stuckless's skate. He and Favaro come together. Favaro wins that battle. Tried to pass it up to Anderson, but off the other side of Anderson's body. The righty Anderson was looking for it on his right, came up on his left. Stuckless gave it away to Johnson. Anderson working in short-handed. Anderson blew a tire. Reed Cooper's on the bench. Prowlers with an extra attacker out there, which actually makes it 5-on-5 right now, rather than a 6-on-5 attack. Demetrio for Stuckless, and empty nets. Nick Stuckless puts home the dagger. That's a power play goal for the Bobcats. And Stuckless, his 4th of the year, will wrap this one up. Well, I did mention it. Chris Paulin aggressive with the goalie pulls this season. And he's always been aggressive with those goalie pulls. He went for it there, but unfortunately for the Prowlers, could not get possession, as Reller will pick up an assist on that goal. A 5-1 lead for the Bobcats. Prowlers still working. Here's a 4-on-2. Bucell across to James. One-timer. Missed wide on the far side. Demetrio hustling after it. Has Mercurio with him. Demetrio steps past a Prowler. Martin couldn't put it out in front. Now Johnson off the wall. Federley up to Alex Johnson. By himself. Johnson takes a shot that's blocked by Radchenko. 90 seconds to go. Ferusith had it out of his reach. Favaro spinning back off the boards. Anderson for Bizal. Into the offensive zone, floats it down deep. DeCumbus tried to center, couldn't do it. And out come the Bobcats. Yet another odd man rush, 2-on-1. Past Reller, though, was blocked away. Good job by Favaro, who was back. Ferusith. Down low. Tim Organ skates up. Fans getting loud here in the final minute. Blake Anderson just flips it out. Plavak up towards Reller. DeVito had his stick lifted and the puck stolen. Johnson up to Price, skates into it. Price a shot, and Strum got a piece. Comes all the way back out. Federley drops it off for Johnson. Weaves his way in. Johnson took a check from Plavak. Looked like maybe a bit of a knee-on-knee, and Johnson slow to his skates. Linesman down. And everybody coming together. Took a little bit to get started up this time. Johnson still on a knee. Everyone will get separated here. DeVito having a conversation with Bazal. 12.5 seconds left to go in this one. And you see again the knee-on-knee there by Hlavak. And there's the linesman going down, and that's when everybody stood up and cheered. So Hlavak is going to the box. He had the original penalty. We'll see if there's more here. Carson Andrioli has finally been allowed to go back to his bench, and that is the reason for the big cheers. We hope to see you still here for the post-game report here on the PHP Network. Get locker room reaction, final game stats, highlights and analysis, and much more. You'll want to hear from Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin after this one. We'll get his thoughts. We'll hear from the Gunther Graphics Player of the Game. All of that fun stuff That's all coming up on the PHP Network post-game show, so stick around once this one is finally in the books. Looks like we'll get 4-on-4. DeVito has been asked to leave. That's at least what's up on the board right now. And now it looks like Alex Johnson will also get the first look at the showers. Well, maybe not the first look, but an early look at the showers. Or is it Connor Bazal? That's Connor Bazal heading over there. Pardon me, Johnson's over at the bench. Oh, Connor Bazal gets an early look at the showers. Third Prowler asked to leave this hockey game. They have to be careful down there in the tunnel. I saw a kid come over trying to chirp at Bazal, which is all fine and good. I think he also tried to touch him, and that's where things can get messy. Bazal luckily level-headed as he heads up to the locker room. Everybody standing here for some 4-on-4 action. Actually, it's 5-on-4 right now. There are 5 Prowlers and 4 Bobcats. Not that it matters all that much, as that will do it. Prowlers fall in the second half of a back-to-back for the first time this season. Your final tonight, 5-1, but it's not over. Everybody going at it. Heating up in the far corner. Down in Bobcats territory, Luke James right in the middle of it. You see him being separated from a Bobcat. And Shrum and Oregon just shared a shove. What's the Prowlers Bobcats game without a little extra at the very end? Tim Morgan trying to navigate a maze of Bobcats so he can get back to his side of the ice. Prowlers have not yet left the ice. Chris Poland and Wojtek Zimleka are chatting it with each other over at the benches. Poland and Zimleka. Let's see if we can see the benches here. As Zimleka has stepped down, Poland still yelling at him. Can't see the benches, unfortunately, from the Bobcats camera. Andrioli and Oregon still having conversations. James having to be separated from Erickson. You see Chris Poland there on your screen, but still more action going on at center ice. Shrum and Cooper had a word. Prowlers finally heading over to their door, waved off by the Bobcats, who might be acting like they swept the Prowlers this weekend when it was a bit of a series split, 1-1. Prowlers won last night. Bobcats get the victory here tonight. Well, the Prowlers can focus on themselves and finishing out this game with their prayer circle. Austin Federley will head over to join them in just a moment as soon as he's done talking with the referees. Prowlers prayer circle drawing the ire of the Bobcats, who are trying to celebrate with their fans. And Michael Mercurio is hot right now, talking to the linesman. Prowlers break their prayer circle and they'll head off. And the Bobcats will get to celebrate as they hope to with their fans, although linesman trying to keep them away from the Prowlers tunnel door, and Port Huron probably trying to take as long as possible to get off to irk the Bobcats just a little bit. Jamie Bussell sharing a moment with Nick Stuckless, former teammates with the Binghamton Black Bears, those two. And that whole area navigated without any further issue. Bussell will step off, and this one can finally be put in the books once again. Stick around for the PHP Network post-game report, highlights and analysis, the final game stats, locker room reaction, and much more. It's all coming up here on the PHP Network. And when we come back, we will send it to Molly Urquhart in our McMorran Place studios. I'll go chat with our Gunther Graphics player of the game and with one of the Prowlers coaches. Hopefully Prowlers associate head coach Chris Paulin will be in the mood to chat with me tonight, and you'll be able to hear that later on the post-game show here on the PHP Network. So don't go anywhere if you want to be the first to hear what Chris Paulin has to say. It is coming up later on the PHP Network post-game show. And after this break, we will send it back to our McMorran Place studios and Molly Urquhart.
Are you sick of asking somebody else to live your own life? I'm Josh with the Franchise Guys. If you're ready to quit your job or build your empire, I'll help you trim down my 800 franchise brand partnerships down to a few that fit you, fit your goals, and fit your budget. With options from senior care to airplane detailing, there's an opportunity for you. Owning a franchise can have up to a 90% success rate. That's better than job security. With the systems and support of a franchise, you won't be making all those costly mistakes as you would if you started your own business from scratch. And with options as low as $6,000 to get your own job-replacing business, there's no better option for you than to book a free call with me and my team. Visit GoFranchiseGuys.com. Stop dreaming about a better life and go live it.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. LJ, come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Yeah, I don't know about this one, fellas.
Boys, we don't overcome adversity by backing down. But yeah, I don't know about this one.
That's reassuring.
We're so screwed.
All right, boys. Here's a game plan. LJ, you start with bananas. B-Way.
Wait, why do I have to do the bananas?
Because you're the softest on the team.
I don't want the bananas.
This thing is gonna melt. We gotta hurry up.
I won't do it.
Okay, both of you. I will do the bananas and the whipped cream. Fets, please continue.
Who's paying for this anyway?
I am. I just bought my tickets for the Prowlers game this weekend, and the Milkhouse gave me 25% off my order.
Fets, why'd you buy the tickets? You're literally on the team.
For the discount.
So are you all ready to give it a try?
Oh, we're ready.
It's true. Get 25% off your entire order at the Milkhouse, October through April. Simply show your ticket stubs at checkout and enjoy your discounted treat.
Hey Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go Prowlers!
Molly here in Port Huron. Before we jump into our stats and out-of-town scores, let's take a look at what promos we have coming up for the remainder of the 2025 year. Again, we have our Thanksgiving Eve Hockey and Gridiron Night that will be on Wednesday, November 26th at 7:05 p.m. Hockey and football will collide for the night before Thanksgiving. Again, we are raffling off a pair of tickets to go to the Detroit Lions Thanksgiving Day game. How exciting! Next up, we have our holiday jerseys and teddy bear toss. That will be held on December 12th at 7:05 p.m. for puck drop. Next up, we are going to be doing a Hockey Fights Hunger presented by Mobility Remodelers. So be sure to bring your non-perishables to that game. We'll have more info for that soon. And we also have a Teacher Appreciation Night coming up. That'll be on December 19th at 7:05 p.m. And lastly, we have a Santa Claus is Coming to Town featuring the Grinch. And this will be on December 20th at 6:05 p.m. For any more information regarding these promo nights, you can just head to our website and you'll be able to find it there. Let's go ahead and move on to our goal for the night. And here we have our Gunther Graphics player of the game, Nick Favaro, scoring our goal for the Prowlers tonight. He had an assist from Alex Johnson, and this is just adding to his already 10 points that he has this season. He scored 6 goals so far this season, and he's definitely going to keep that up. He used to play for the Monroe Moccasins last season, but we're glad to have him here with the Prowlers right now. So we'll be able to hear from Nick Favaro very soon. Next up, we have our out-of-town scores. Let's take a look at what's going on around the ice. We have our Ice Cats versus the Thunderbirds with a final score of 6-2. Moving on, we have the Black Bears and the Hat Tricks with a final score of 5-1 in favor of the Black Bears. The Biloxi Breakers and the River Dragons score 2-6 with that 6 going to the River Dragons. Still playing tonight, the Rock Lobsters and the Moccasins have a score of 3-6. And then the Scarecrows and Zydeco are currently tied at 3-3 in the third period. Last but not least, obviously, we have our Prowlers and Bobcats with a score of 1-5 in favor of the Bobcats. And now let's go ahead and take a look at our game stats for the night. We had a total of 1 goal for the Prowlers, 5 goals for the Bobcats. Shots on goal, we had 35 for the Prowlers, 32 for the Bobcats. And our power play total is 11 for the Prowlers and 1-7 Bobcats. And we have to have a little asterisk next to our penalties in minutes, as we are not sure the refs have completely gotten all of the proper minutes out there for the amount of penalties we had. The third period, as we all saw, was fight after fight after fight. So it'll be very interesting to see how many penalties and minutes we have from each team. Let's go ahead to a break before we have our interviews with the player of the game as well as one of our coaches.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorran experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PHProwlers, and Twitter at PHProwlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry Howie's!
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Hello, I'm home.
There he is.
What is happening?
Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch?
Spicy.
Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite.
Can you stop?
Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack wrap is back.
Hi, what can I get for you?
I'd like some McMorrin fries, please.
All right, that's going to be $4.
Okay.
She shoots, she scores with the new Prowlers debit card.
Don't you have somewhere to be? The game's on.
Get your Prowlers debit card only at Flagship Community Federal Credit Union, located on Lapeer Road in Port Huron. Flagship Federal Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Discover 1195 Gastropub in Marysville. Burgers, pizzas, apps, and pub favorites like filet mignon and grilled salmon. Open Monday to Friday, 4 to 9 p.m., weekends 12 to 9 p.m. Join us for happy hour, Monday to Thursday. Enjoy half-off bottles of wine every Wednesday, and don't miss Thirsty Thursday with $4 draft beers. Great food, cold drinks, good times. That's 1195 Gastropub.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry Howie's!
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Hello, home.
There he is.
What is happening?
Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch?
Spicy.
Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite.
Can you stop?
Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack Wrap is back.
And we'll throw it back to Will in Virginia.
Thanks, Molly. Prowlers fall tonight by a final score of 5-1. Yet another tough one tonight against the Blue Ridge Bobcats. They split with the Bobcats for the second time this season. In just a few moments, you will hear from Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin, as well as our Gunther Graphics Player of the Game, Nick Favaro. Favaro scoring the only Prowler goal there in the third period. And again, we got to hear from Favaro just moments ago. We're working on getting that interview in there. There's a jersey auction going on outside, so that might be the background noise that you might be hearing here as we get our interview set. But again, the Prowlers falling tonight by a final score of 5-1. Thank you again to our whole crew back at McMorran Place, Christian Jackson, Molly Urquhart, and Sean Detvey, who spent their Saturday night helping us out here while we were out here on the road. And, you know, just they are the reason why we can bring you these interviews. So, again, we appreciate all of their efforts all tonight and every road game. Be hearing a lot from the McMorran studios and our out-of-town studios here, as over the next couple of weeks, Prowlers will be on the road for a 5-game road trip after that Wednesday home game that's coming up here shortly. Prowlers get right back to it, and that was something that I talked about with Chris Paulin as well as Nick Favaro. So you'll get to hear their thoughts on getting right back at it after a loss like this, and that's something that, you know, typically players love to get back to, and that's, you know, reason the Prowlers had been so successful this season with Saturday games and the second half of back-to-backs is that they were able to just get right back to it. But unfortunately for them, they are no longer perfect on Saturdays. They dropped to 6-1-0 on the second half of back-to-back games, as they again fall tonight to the Blue Ridge Bobcats 5-1. Again, the Prowlers outshot the Bobcats 35-32 in this game, and they are now 6-5 when outshooting their opponent. Perfect record, undefeated when being outshot by their opponent, but for whatever reason, one reason or another, they do not they do not win every time they outshoot their opponent. That just shows hockey. For those of you who might be new to hockey, you know, it's not all about how many shots on goal you get. It's about who's the sharper goaltender. It's about which side is getting better quality of opportunities as well. Those are a huge part of the equation when it comes to figuring out who might win a game. And tonight the Bobcats took advantage of their opportunities. They had some high quality opportunities as well. And the result here, a 5-1 loss for the Port Huron Prowlers, and they fall to 9-5, still second in the Empire Division, but they'll fall further behind the Binghamton Black Bears, who beat the Hat Tricks tonight. Bobcats, meanwhile, get back to 500, 18.66-0, and they snap a 2-game losing skid. And that losing skid, again, big for the Bobcats to be able to snap that. And now, in just a moment, we will hear from our Gunther Graphics Player of the Game, Nick Favaro. With tonight's Gunther Graphics Player of the Game, Nick Favaro, goal for you tonight, but tough result for your team. Just your thoughts on this weekend overall, win and a loss?
I mean, I thought yesterday we played pretty good. We had a good start. I thought today, I mean, yeah, like we got off to a tough start. It's tough to dig back when, I mean, they're up like 2-3. And, I mean, pucks weren't going our way. And then, I mean, it's kind of too late at that point. But I thought we fought back hard in the third. And unfortunate, but, you know, we got to bounce back. We play on Wednesday.
We've seen over these 4 games with this team, lots of battling, lots of away from the play stuff, extracurriculars. You feel that rivalry brewing with this team?
Yeah, I mean, we're a pretty fiery team, so it's going to be like that with a lot of teams we have. So that's kind of the standard we've set. You know, we have a lot of players who are tough and willing to do it. So, I mean, that's kind of the standard we have. So, yeah, it's a rivalry between them. And then, I mean, same attitude with everyone, whether it's them or any other team.
Mentioned the short week coming up. Is that better for you? Are you looking forward to having the short week to get right back at it on Wednesday?
Yeah, I think it's good, especially when you lose, to get right back to it. You know, not a lot of time to dwell on it, and then just get back to work once we get back, and yeah, prepare for Wednesday.
That's our Gunther Graphics Player of the Game. Gunther Graphics, your go-to guy for logos, websites, and branding. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that is Prowlers defenseman Nick Favaro, who scored the Prowlers' only goal tonight. His team-high 6th of the year. He breaks a 5-way tie for first on the Prowlers in goals this season. So Nick Favaro and the Gunther Graphics Player of the Game. Next up, we hear from Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin. With Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin after the 5-1 loss to the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Coach, what was different tonight versus last night?
They came out pissed off. To their credit, they came out pissed off. I thought they established the physicality early. I thought we were chasing the game because of it. You know, we talked in the locker room the importance of, you know, we're a tough team, we're physical. When a team comes out with a concerted effort to be physical, to be chippy, we don't get upset at the referees for missed calls. They're human just like all of us. They make mistakes just like all of us. We have to stay focused, and when things aren't going well, we have to be simple. Get the puck deep. We have to finish our hits. And I thought physicality-wise, they had the edge. They got some momentum. They got some confidence off it, and we were chasing the game because of it.
A lot of odd man rushes throughout that game. What were they doing that kind of gave them those opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. We started to play better as the second and third period went on, low in their zone. We collapsed the coverage, and then I thought there was times when we could have went low to high. We tried to force pucks into the middle of the ice, and when you do that, you know, and their wings are high, and then they get out in transition. You get 3 or 4, it's called low. So they got out in transition a couple times because of that. And honestly, I thought our goalie made some phenomenal saves because they had some really good chances.
Are you worried at all about the consistency of your team? It's been a while since you guys have been able to put together back-to-back wins, you know, on back-to-back nights.
Well, I'm not worried at all. I think it's there's a lot of good things tonight. I mean, I think, you know, yesterday the result was good, right? So you think everything's perfect, but there was a lot to clean up yesterday, just like tonight. I love the resiliency of the guys in the third period, guys stepping up for each other. You could see Brockaway and Parse, you can't say enough about those guys, what they do. I mean, they had a guy third man in on Parse. He takes care of business. I thought it was phenomenal. Guys were, you know, there was never a doubt on our bench, right? So guys were going the whole 60. You know, when Fav scored to get us on the board, I thought everyone on the bench thought we were, you know, one shot away from really getting back in the game. So, you know, tactically, execution-wise, we have some stuff to clean up for sure. But the consistency of the group, I think it's, if there's anything that we need to be better, it's energy. Energy, I mean, you can give an NHL effort, NHL energy with whatever skill set you have. So that's what we need to get more consistent with, because when we have that energy, it's so contagious, and the guys play with an edge, and they're physical, and they're hard to play against. So that's what we need to really hone in on, and I think we got a really good test on Wednesday. I'm excited for it.
What are you saying to their coach, Bartek Zemlika, there at the end?
Well, so if he wants to put his gear on and play, he can do that, right? He used to play. I remember playing against him with him. If he wants to put his gear on, he can play. But if you're sitting there in a suit, you don't talk to the players. So he wants to talk to our players. He's gonna talk to me because I'm in a suit. So that's what I have to say to him. I mean, he's a pretty tough guy in a suit. So he wasn't such a tough guy with his gear on, but now he's a tough guy in a suit. So if he wants to be tough, he can talk to me. Leave the players alone. I have no problem talking to him. We got together on the glass and said hello to each other. That's fine, but don't talk to our players.
What's your message to your team with a 4-5 coming up in a short week?
It's exciting. It's exciting hockey. So much is going to change in 6-7 days here. It's a good chunk of our season just in a 5-day span. So I love that it's going to test the mental resiliency and the mental conditioning of our group. It's going to be a test on the legs as well, and I think our team has the legs to be able to do 4 games in 5 days. So I'm really excited for that challenge. I know the guys are too.
All those running tests during training camp, right?
Running tests. These guys work their rear ends off during the week. We do a lot of conditioning. They're ready for this battle, but it's not just a battle of the body. It tests your mind when you're going out, four times in 5 days. I think we have to be sharp, especially when the legs go. That's when the mind really has to bear down. And I think we have the horses to do it, so I'm excited.
All right, thank you, Coach.
You got it.
That is Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin. That's going to do it for us here on the PHP Network. Plenty of thanks to go around. Sean Detvey running the graphics tonight. Our crew was led by Technical Director Christian Jackson. And, of course, Aiden Bricker here providing secondary camera angles and sometimes primary camera angles when we didn't get great angles from the provided feed. But we do thank the Blue Ridge Bobcats for providing another camera for us as well. For Molly Urquhart, back in our McMorran Place studios, I'm Will Wiggleman. We'll see you next time. A Wednesday game, November the 26th. It's at McMorran Place, so if you can make it, be there. Bring non-perishable food donations, and you could win a pair of tickets to the Detroit Lions Thanksgiving game. I can't think of any better prize that you could win on a Wednesday night in Port Huron. So be sure to come out there. We hope to see you there, but if not, we will see you next time right here on the PHP Network.